just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak. I know what you're thinking, and I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Don't speak. I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. No, no, no. Don't speak. I know what you're thinking, and I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. You and me, we used to be together, every day together, always. I really feel that I'm losing my best friend. Can't believe this could be the end. Don't speak. I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. No, no, no. Don't speak. I know what you're thinking, and I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts.
Hey guys, and welcome to the official week 10 of the Nibble bi-weekly series. Today I'm actually joined by a co-caster, and that's going to be Ez Proxy. Welcome to the casting for Fortnite, hey?
Yeah, hey, you guys are throwing me in the deep end here. Some finals just to start off with, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be unexpected. So let's see exactly what that's going to be like. For the schedule, though, we got 5 games taking place, and the last game happening at 5:30. The players obviously battling it out in a prize pool of 900 for first and 450. That's going to be a total of 1,350 Rand on the line over here. Crazy first place pool for the players over there.
Yeah, no, I think any trio is gonna be happy to run away with that. Nice 300 split for everyone else, and second place, of course, gonna be running away with that 450. So, I mean, your top two is where it's at, right? As we were talking a little bit off stream, if you're not getting into that top two, it's a rough time. You've got 5 games to do it, so going to be running for that victory royale, and who knows, maybe a couple of kills will form part of those points, but everyone's gonna be gunning for it.
Definitely. And I mean, it's always so stressful for the players, and you often see them forfeiting after game 3, game 4. But hopefully things sort of change in the future. Elite Pro Series is working around this to find a suitable cause or solution to the players sort of forfeiting and finding it easier to actually quit the games right here. So let's see what we come up with in terms of that. But it's going to be an absolute 5 games, and in about 2 minutes, we'll be jumping into the battle bus for game number 1, where we'll have the champions of week 9, Reapsy, Crispy, and the new trio joining them, which is Rejects. They absolutely dominated in the week 9, grabbing the first place position yesterday as Proxy. And that is a collaborations of organizations. You got Punishers in there, White Rabbit Gaming, and as well as Goliath Gaming. What do you see such collaborations between organizations in other games?
Generally not. I mean, in this sort of like format, obviously there's opportunities for that. I think most recently, Apex has been one of those those game titles that we've seen that sort of collaboration, especially in the battle royale format. But generally, the teams they stick together unless it's some sort of casual format game or some sort of tournament that allows that. Rosters generally stick together at least more in your battle royales and your Counter Strikes and those things. Players do often jump around, so they all know how each other plays, and I think that's the big advantage of this sort of combination is you have sort of insights that you can work with in this regard. And obviously a new skill means a new sort of play style, it means new strats, it means a whole lot of things. And running as a trio with that kind of potential, it definitely invokes some sort of wrench that can be thrown into the works.
Definitely. I mean, it's always been like a sort of weird one with Fortnite. Sort of bringing in like new aspects to the whole competitive field for esports South Africa, and you can see those collaborations like through and through, even with teams and clans and so forth. It's never just one set roster like it is for your general FPS games, where you pick up a 5-player for CSGO and that's going to be for the team and so forth, and so they just revert that out, substitute players and so forth. But I believe now the players will be jumping into the game number 1, so let's go and have a look at what that's going to be looking like for the players right here, and we can go over to that aspect over there. So that's game number 1 on board for us, and we are on the players Swivix, Cress, and as well as Rokane. They're going to be contesting a team over at Pleasant Park, which is Deervold and Piv. So we can expect some off-spawn action over here.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, if you have more than one team dropping in the same sort of location, that early round fights, before everyone's, sorted out their loot and sort of got themselves kitted out, with Matt's done the farming that they needed to. I mean, getting up close and personal to someone that early on does obviously entail some risks, but it could be some high rewards. I mean, as we know, everyone wants to make sure that they get as high as they can up into those placements, because we know, I mean, that first, second, third, and fourth spots, you get some of the most points that you can. Of course, that victory royale running away with the 25 points. If you can even top that with a few eliminations, even if it's just 1 or 2, you're already ahead of everyone else, and you're taking out a competitor that's more than likely later on going to be looking for you. So I do like the early on fights. I think it's a good strategy to go with. I mean, it's action for us, so I'm happy. Bring it on.
Exactly. Bring on the action as the players sort of land in here. I think it's going to be a 3v3 situation. I don't recall any other teams sort of landing. And you can see there's the oppositions to the left of the teams that we are watching right now. And they land on the launch pad. They can easily use that to disengage. It does look like it's going to be a 50-50 situation for the same house. He's running now. And, he's going to get eliminated.
No way!
He gets into the car.
Okay, no, running away with that 1 HP, that car's not looking too healthy either. Need to get around the corner ASAP, get your teammates to help you out in this scenario, but I mean, just, how is he alive?
How is he alive?
That's impossible! You even called it, you're like, nah, he's dead. He's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. First eliminates, it's done and dusted. Not the case. This man is here to live. He's happy to continue his life and hopefully look for some placements, but at least that farming can start happening, and hopefully I really hope he's about to get some meds, because this 1 HP is giving me anxiety. I don't know how he's feeling right now.
Oh, man. And the car as well. I mean, it's a couple shots left, and that's going to get an explosion on his side. But talk about RNG, he landed on the top. He gets a launch pad. He doesn't get a gun or anything. He then goes into a house where there's 2 chest spawns, but none of them spawn up. So just tough luck here for the teams. And they disengaged completely from the POI. They're not having that. They're like, we died. We are dead over there. So,
nah. We'll be able to get that tactical at least. But I mean, what can you do in that scenario? If you've already got a teammate that's on 1 HP running for his life, I don't think you're going to be challenging anything anytime soon. I'm pretty sure they didn't even have time to actually get anything going there. As you said, this chest didn't spawn up, so there's nothing for them to work with. They can get out of there. Danger zone. Don't want to be there.
Danger zone. And the team that was actually contesting them is where we're going over to right now. As you can see, they are at Pleasant Park. They are juicy, and doesn't look like we actually got that up quickly. Set that up for you guys and the viewers at home. Apologies for this. But as you guys can see, these are the players that were contesting the players that had run away gotten into a vehicle and left. So it is Deervold and them who have done well overnight. So Deervold, Mongrel, and Mitro. So using obviously alias names, it's going to be Race, Deervold, and Piv who will be taking this over here.
Hello? Yeah.
That's quite interesting. I mean, we were talking about it, that early contention, they drop in the same spot. Obviously, who's going to be, taking who out first, but having that happen and now just an immediate disengage obviously just wastes time for everyone else. Now they have to rotate through from that POI. Obviously, they lose out on whatever loot they could have found here. I do see a couple of the ARs running high. I mean, got a blue AR already, so a lot of them feeling quite happy. They can safely, more so than in the beginning, now get their loot up, get the mats farmed up, and get themselves set and ready for the fight that's about to happen. Zone, of course, the storm's coming in, and they want to get kitted, but it's just such a weird. It's weird to not see any eliminations come from that. Of course, I mean, 1 HP running away from a fight like that, somehow still managing to rotate out, even got a medkit popped off, was able to get into a different car, so no explosions. Just all this hype for nothing. I feel
All
like
the
we got
hype,
cheated.
yeah. we definitely got cheated. I mean, even the players decided, you know what, let's just disengage completely out of there. But now on board with us here is Swizzy, Vibes, and Dabs, and they got a couple action going on for them. Couple tags back and forth, and he's been hit for 39, it seems, or 30, or 29, yeah, is to be exact. And a special chest over here. It's actually weird, so you have to coordinately hit this in order to get this chest open. So it takes a team effort to open it, and takes some time as well.
Yeah, and if you miss something, then oof.
Yeah.
Unlucky, eh? Unlucky. It's a big risk, especially after they've just done damage to another team. They've obviously, given away their position, managed to, get those mats up, get the buildings up, get themselves a little bit of cover. But I mean, immediately just after getting that loot, bam, straight into the fight.
Yeah.
You've just given the other team some time to sort of plan out where they want to take this. Obviously, they do have the high ground, so they can just sit here and tap away, do some damage, and chip away at those consumables. But equally enough, as you can see, damage is being dealt right back. I mean, the team's not backing out. They want to get some eliminations. Rotations still have to happen. Mind you, the
Definitely.
Storm's on its way. They can't, waste too much time here because the team knows they can just get into the zone, sit and wait and contain them, keep them out of it, and just make it very difficult for them if they waste time in this fight.
I mean, you got about 3 minutes until those zones start to rotate in. He's now sort of positioning himself on a low ground, trying to, engage that W key playstyle. But really, maybe the play was to NPC. What can you get? You can't really get much from the NPC over there. And it does look like they're going to be W keying right now. I don't know, like the zone pushing in is not the call over here. The players now also have a better position, but it's a player left behind all alone here, and it's a bullfight going into action. So 1v1, he gets a beautiful tack on the player, and he goes and falls all the way to 4 damage. So losing a bit of HP over there.
Ooh. I have to be careful on this one. I mean, any wrong move, and as you can say, that storm's coming in, teammates still have to run away, so have to be careful with this. I mean, still looks like quite a few mats to work with, but you gotta be careful here. Really, I mean, just around the corner, there's anyone and everyone looking to third party this and take the kill away.
Oh, he
It's close.
manages. And that is a huge knock coming into play. Manages to put him into the box and sends him back to the lobby. And it does look like his teammates also pick up the eliminations on the oppositions over there. And there goes the emotes. A bit of toxic play from Swizzy, Dabs, and Vibes.
Oh, I mean, you were talking about that W play coming through, and I was worried. I mean, you're taking on these fights on your own. It didn't start off too well, with the falling down, taking the full damage as well. And I was like, oh, what's happening here? Still a lot of work to do with the tower. Managed to get that knock, which is great. Now, regroup with the team, continue on. They got that elimination in the bag, and obviously it's gonna hurt whoever was trying to run away, and it's just good. It worked out nicely, but it could have turned around so quickly. So I think that it's a bit of a gutsy play, but it worked out. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They just have to continue now, and they're gonna be able to just leisurely walk into the zone. Not really worry too much about the storm hitting them. It's still a little ways behind. And it's good. I it's scary, but it's good.
It is. Yeah, he's gonna need a couple more consumables. Maybe he can pick up in here in Ritoro doesn't actually look like he will get the opportunity to due to that zone, but the entire team has no big pots, doesn't look like they have wide heals, but he's got a rotation in for maybe him and his duo to go into endgame with the red peppers, those movable items that help you rotate into the endgame moving zones is going to be essential, seeing that that's the key items to have in the season right now, but only 2 in the back pocket, so it's either probably use it for late end game when it's a duo, or you're trying to solo it, and yeah, I don't really think that is going to be the play either way. So let's go over to Swish, Ginger, and Storm test shots. Very promising team right here. White Rabbit Gaming, Punishers Gaming, as well as a Light Gaming in here in this trio, and they're making some crazy rotations in this huge vehicle right now.
Oh, yeah, they need to get out of this. I mean, Storm coming in, obviously, the rotation is going to make quite a little bit of noise. The driving is questionable. Just drifting around the corner, it's fine. The big wheels, we understand. It's a difficult vehicle to work with, but they're making Tokyo Drift out of this this journey. I'm enjoying it. Showing off some of the skills.
Yeah,
but. Ooh. As I was saying, you're making a lot of noise rotating in, and here it is, going to be finding another team and immediately into a fight here. So, I mean, this combination of the Dream Team that, won the previous season, they have to really be put to the work here, because immediately they're on the down foot. They're going to be able to get those towers up, get some cover going, but everyone knows where they're at. They're just short of that zone. They're just short of safety, and if they lose it out here, or if they waste too much time, it's just going to bite them a little bit.
I mean, we're going into Zone 3 quite shortly, and the threshold is 70 players for that zone. So we potentially could be seeing some Storm Surge active yet in the Nibble Week 10 right now. And those are the most fun competitive games that are, enjoyable to watch right now. A couple of shots back and forth, but Esmery, like the plays here, 78 teams. The placements hasn't even come into effect, so if you're dying right now, it's just sad.
No, it's the worst feeling ever going out of a map like this, especially early on, and just getting hit with that extra little bit of disappointment, saying, oh, by the way, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Like, first game of the day, guess what? You get absolutely nothing. And as we said, those first 2 games are so important, because if someone runs away with that early lead, well, like you said, there's no real way for them to catch up unless they go absolutely crazy, get the victory royale, and manage to wipe out like half the lobby. Then cool, maybe we're talking about contention here. But losing out early on like this in the first map of the day, it's not only a knock to your motivation, it's a knock to your gains for the rest of the day as well, and your opportunities to, grab away and grab a part of that prize pool. Oh, the damage!
Beautiful.
I mean, this team is looking quite happy. I mean, regardless if they're running on the heels, they've got everyone literally just pumping shots at them. They're throwing some damage back just as much.
Yeah, and that damage right now is very crucial. Has he got that Storm Surge warning? You can see their damage is highly above, and he's hitting some white damage right now with 24. And you can see they're on 401 damage above, so they're not too worried about the next Storm Surge that we potentially will be seeing right now. Scary things happen in the Storm Surge. Let's go and see who we can spectate that hasn't really gotten that damage up just yet. And we can go over to Noted Card and Spooky Boss. Really potential players in the scrims over here in the tournaments right now. And they're sitting comfortably as well with 138 damage above right now. But Noted, Spooky, and Card, we usually call them the second curse. It's because they've placed second in the most Nibble series, so they haven't really gotten that champion for them. And let's see what happens this time around, whether or not they can do that. And he's just sweeping the grounds for us.
Yeah, they're cleaning it up. We've had Tokyo Drift already, and now we've got an episode of the cleaners happening here. They're showing us just like snap like that, bam, clean. We love it. Getting ready for the fights immediately. So a little bit of cheesy commentary coming for you guys today. I'm so sorry. I apologize. It's their fault that I'm here.
I love this.
They put me here. It's their fault.
I'm enjoying it. I'm pretty sure everyone else watching right now, the Nibble bi-weekly series, is enjoying this as well. They're going to need to deal a bit more damage. I believe that Storm Surge is active and they only have 138 damage above right now. So let us see what it means though for Noted, Card and Spooky as they try to focus a trio in their POV right now. But nothing really comes into play. Still 6 players above that 70 player mark, and this is why we love Fortnite, is because the competitive fields, game 1 and 2, is just the most amazing things you get to watch. Oh, and it does look like a W key's coming and he manages to knock him. Whoa, that was an amazing pump from Noted.
The cheese. Oh no, they're sweeping the competition here. Oh, guys,
my
not like
God.
this. Yeah, so I mean that W not working out, and immediately now the rest of the team is able to actually take this advantage forward. They've got one down, they only need to get the rest of these 2, and then bam, just like that, not only do you take away the competition, but you get some elimination points already, doing 124 damage, knocking down one, only one more remaining, and it doesn't really matter too much at this point. Surely you're going to be trying to tunnel away, but where can you go in this scenario?
Yeah.
You're surrounded. It's done.
Just like that, it's a cleanup. It's a clean slate from the team right now. Heaven knows what the opposition tried to do there. He walked into that pump right there and got eliminated off the bat. I would have been dead on scared if that happened to me. Like, I would have gotten a fright IRL and just be like, holy, what just happened? But amazing plays from Noted, Spooky. They feel very confident right now, and you know, picking up 2 eliminations. Those are kill points going into the end games. I believe now we are going to start seeing a couple placement points kicking in, because we had 69 players and top 17 is where it starts to sort of work in on the plays over there. So let's go over to the kids we did see run away and see what's happening with them, whether or not they're still alive in this position and what their loot is looking like. And it does look like they are alive. They're very much edge zone right now. They're on the white lines waiting for those zones to rotate in, and they, by surprise, have decent amount of loot: a blue shotgun, gray AR with 112 and a golden sniper. But look at his mats, Proxy. It's just not what you want going into the end game.
Yeah, look, I mean, in that, thankfully, you are in a trio, so hopefully the rest of your trio's got some mats to work with. You can just focus on fragging out and, you know, getting those shots in, but it's Fortnite at the end of the day. You know, if you need to be pretty good at both, otherwise you rely so heavily on your team that if one of them gets knocked, your team synergy just goes down the drain. You know, you can't really be relying on everyone solely. You need to be working as a team, so it's rough, but what I'm curious to see is, like, we've got so many players still alive. We've got so many, you know, players on this map still around in such a small space that everyone's going to be running into each other at one point or a time, and then the chaos begins. It's so similar to every battle royale that we've seen. You know, if you've got such a small area, you've got everyone just, you know, clustered up next to each other. It begins chaos, and as we can see, that golden sniper is already going to be put to work. Unfortunately, not making the connection, but still a lot of possibilities here. I mean, they've got the loot to work with here. They just need to actually, you know, translate that into some frags and translate that into hopefully a winning victory royale for them if they want to work it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for them, a good position to be in right now, especially, you know, not having a main POI on them. But let's go over to Rejects, Crispy, and Reapsy, where they are supposedly healing up right now. So they've got the Chug Cannon. It is a crucial item to have. It has infinite reloads to the Chug Splash over there, and it heals you up for 20 if I'm not mistaken. And that could either be blue shields or white health. And yeah, perfect item to have right there. And you can see Rejects with the Deagle. Oh, he's a nasty player with it. And just like that, he manages to get a 70 shot, but his player is Crispy, who's knocked right here. Will they be able to get the revive? Nobody's really focusing this.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, you know, doing some damage, you know, chipping away, that's for now the best that you can really look at. At least you got some jump pads to work with, and you can just fly in and out quickly. It's very dangerous. I mean, we saw one of the teams trying to do that earlier. No, they said one of them out to try and get some sort of baiting going, potentially get the team to get out of their position so that the rest could finish it off, and it didn't really work out. Instead, they lost someone to a pump, and then immediately, the aggression came back and it bit them in the back. So here you have to be really careful. Anyone that's going to give up their position here does mean that they're very much in danger of going out. And as we said, everyone's still playing for those placement points. It's the first game of the day, and it really sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Definitely.
So everyone's being careful, everyone's going for those placements, which I understand. I 100% understand. It's very dangerous if they go for this. As much as someone might be getting a knock here and there, if they choose to aggress that and take that further into a team wipe, it's risky. It's risky, and it might be too much of a risk, especially depending on the position that they're going from.
And again, we are looking at the Storm Surge active for the 5th zone rotation. It is 15 players above the threshold right here. That is 15 players needing to be eliminated off the bat, either by the Storm Surge lightning that's going to happen, or players are going to get aggressive because they don't have that much damage dealt, so they don't want to get eliminated either way. And we do see in the kill feed, one player gets eliminated by Storm Surge, so for him, he's not having a great day. Still very little placement points that he's just touched right now. So that is GG for that team over there. On the other hand, we got Rambo editors, Fortnite editors taking part in this tournament. Let's go see exactly what they are up to right now. And it is a launchpad rotation from Rejects, Reapsy, and Crispy. We'll switch over to Rambo once we see them successfully land. There you go.
Gotta be close to that one.
Server's extremely laggy right now due to the, stacked games that we are spectating right now.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there's still so many players left in the zone, so many players still, in danger of going out, and now the tunneling is going to be starting. It's going to be getting crazy because everyone is just looking to take each other out. Everyone's just trying to hold on to some area, hold on to some high ground here, and find those connections. And it's a difficult situation, especially when you have to be so careful because every single area around you is a potential enemy just sitting and lying in wait.
Definitely, and look at the loot here. They got a purple scar and a blue pump, so they're pretty much decent right now. And these are like your VFX of the community coming together to compete, and that is so many shots. They managed to actually pick up one. Oh, that was a community grief for the players over there. And GG's, they do pick up 3 eliminations in the back pocket for the team. Right here, decent amount of mats. He's got 340 brick, 500. He's got a launch pad in the back pocket, so they can launch the first moving zone that we are about to spectate here. And again, threshold being that there's only 39 players alive. There goes the launch pad. He flies up and he dives straight down to get into a good position to stay ahead of zone. And it does look like one of the players will get eliminated while rotating in the sky. So that's going to be Kilo eliminated off the bat. So GG's.
Oh, and already, I mean, those rotations are going to be happening now, and everyone's going to be running into each other. As we can see right now, I mean, the fight's already out, the tunneling is happening. Everyone's just trying to find some sort of an angle here to work with. And at this point in time, as the zone keeps moving forward, you have to be careful. Every single second and decision counts here. One little mistake and that could be it for you and your team. Still very much in danger of placements here. Everyone's still trying to go for that Victoria Royale, get those 25 points up, and eliminations now definitely would help, but again, just so risky in these first couple of games because this could mean the end for your team, or it could mean, the beginning of hopefully something great. So those chili peppers are going to be coming through, man.
Yeah.
This is what we were talking about, like when are they going to be used? When is the best time for you to actually make use of them? And now would be a pretty good time.
Ooh, and he gets hit quite hard while trying to make those rotates. He's on 81 HP. Will he manage to box up successfully and heal up? He does. He does got some charges on the chuck cannon, so he's able to heal up as well. But now not that much with his teammates. There are a box or two away, but it's very congested right here. 23 players. Oh, what happened to all the players right there in that rotation? It's Rejects with a pump on Light CK. And he gets that elimination with the attack. Now needs to make a rotation in Storm. He places another launch pad. And will he grab height? No, he won't. Going all the way to low ground in this position to meet up with Reapsy, his teammate. And they can reset right now.
This is crazy. I mean, just look at this contention. You were talking about it. What's happening to all the numbers, where they're going, and it's just these rotations. Everyone is doing so much damage at this point in time. Just running there with the tactical, just trying and find that connection, and you have to be so careful. Still, somehow, the entirety of this team is still alive, battling it out in their own fights, and this is starting to get absolutely insane.
Yeah, staying together is crucial in these end games, but it does look like Crispy will get knocked and eliminated off the bat, so that's GG's. It's Reepsy and Rejects now left alone to make these rotations as a duo, and there's still a couple 10 players alive right now. He's trying to line up a pre-fire on that player, but he should stop making those rotations, and he does so successfully. Reepsy taking some builds, and those are shots onto Rejects. Rejects now on 49 HP. Rotating though, not that much mass. He's only got 100 left, 120. So that's just 12 builds for him.
This is crazy. I mean, this is where it starts. There comes the shots coming through. Down to only one player. Oh, not going to be the case that you want to be. But leaving in third place, that does mean 19 points to them. But now here's the question, where is it going to be going?
Oh, anonymous players on board here. They're looking very solid. We'll have to see exactly who this team is that has taken this position. And it's actually noted in them. So we do have their POV. So let's go over to that POV and see whether or not if they can get that winning victory royale for game number 1. It is noted Card and Spooky. And we did say that they have the second curse to their name. Will this mean that they come second right now for this? And it does look like he gets knocked. It's Spooky. Oh, and it's second. No ways. Oh, the second curse for the team right here, Proxy.
Oh, no. That's not what you want to see.
Not grabbing the victory royale over there, man. G's for the teams. And yeah, oof. What do you have to say for the games?
I mean, it really got crazy there towards the end. We had pretty much everyone still alive and well, and then all of a sudden numbers just kept dropping like flies. And that's what we say. That's a battle royale. Everything gets crazy towards the end, and that's exactly what we got. It's unfortunate, you know, that the clean sweep got their second curse. I mean, they showed us some beautiful sweeping early on, and fortunately they just weren't able to finish up the game. But it is what it is, and it's the first map of the day, so still another opportunity going into second, maybe even to third, depending on how the scores go. But I think that's they should be happy with that. I mean, overall, they were in such a horrible situation. I mean, with the knocks coming through, I think they did as best as they could in that.
Definitely. Well, guys, we'll be back with game number 2, so don't you guys go anywhere. We're going to be taking a 10-minute break, and we'll see you guys for the action where we will be seeing possibly Devil the Name taking that off-spawn fight.
Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be on the gas, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be on the gas, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt, stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free.
Hey guys, we are back for game number 2, which will be starting in just a bit. But let's talk about a recap and go through the leaderboards, where we'll be showing you guys exactly where they're standing. But Esmery, what do you have to say, like, overall? What was your experience like for game number 1?
I mean, the fact, that when we look at the facts easily, I mean, first place taking 52 points, second place taking 29 points. That difference between first and second just highlights how important it is to get a really good start in your first couple of maps. Map
Yeah.
1, map 2, etc., etc. Like that's really where you make a statement, especially if your currently leading team BVD X Goliath can go ahead and get, just as good of a performance as they did in the first map. Then the rest of the teams are going to be, a little bit sour because trying to catch
Yeah.
up to something like that is ridiculous. And we've seen it happen so many times before that, teams that really have those beautiful starts really start getting that confidence, obviously, and they
Mm.
start, relaxing a little bit more because they're like, hey, I mean, guys, come on. We're just running away from everyone. Why do we need to stress?
I mean,
So, oof.
grabbing like first place with 17 eliminations to their name. That is a huge lead from Spooky, and then we did see them coming second, but they only grabbed themselves 8 eliminations. And then for Storm, who is in third, which is Light, WRG, and Punishers, they came fourth with 9. And Reapsy, who had won the week 9 yesterday, they came third with 5. So name on them just said, you know what? End game is ours. We are dominating. They took 17 eliminations in total for them. So crazy stuff to be played there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're feeling like that already on map 1, I don't know what map 2 and 3 are gonna, basically being set out like that, sort of just stating that, hey, we've come to play, we've come to win. Everyone else needs to now catch up. Like we said time and time again, it's only the top 2 that are going to be taking a share of that prize pool. So,
Yeah.
you need to catch up now. This is now the time to lay some points down. And 17 elimination, that's nothing to scoff at. Everyone else needs to catch up.
That is absolute crazy. Let's look at the schedule for the evening here, guys, what we will be looking at. And you can see game number 2 is just starting. So we still got 3 more games. The next game starting at 20 past 4. And the prize pool for the teams right now, guys, is 1,350. First place taking 900 and second place taking 450 Rand. So let's go over to the gameplays right here, and you can see exactly where they will be. We're going on the famous 1 HP players, but we're going onto the opposition team this time around to see who will get the best drop again and who will be grabbing that off-spawn loot to sort of grab Pleasant Park. It is an eagle fight between these 2 players, but the team had run away. They ran away. So let's see what it means this time around for them, whether or not they can grab it.
I don't want to be cheated from our little fight early on again. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I need resolutions here. We need to see winners here. So yeah, I mean, if Suzix and them can go through, and if they're going to be taking that fight against Devold once again, then surely this time it won't just be a 1 HP finish. Surely we'll actually have the eliminations coming through this time around. I think for the remainder of the team, whoever got away and whoever unfortunately had their potential eliminations running away from them, they're looking to change it up this time around, for the better or for the worse. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I'd like to see a little bit of a change up as well. I mean, you've got a few spots on the map that are obviously getting contested. This is just one of them. So those early fights really do sort of set you up for the rest of it. I mean, if you can take that win away, obviously you've already got some points on the board, which is at this point definitely needed for everyone else.
Yeah, you can see the opposition team were flying quite close to Devold over there, and he's landed at a house with no guns. Oh my god, the RNG is not in favor for Devold and them now, and you can hear a couple gunfire going back and forth, but nothing too serious just yet. And the entire team sort of separated right now. Not really the play I would say to go for, but he gets a pump, nothing long range just yet, so he's still pretty much in danger right now, and he's going to be farming up quite a bit. But it was a close 50-50 for a house that had no weapons. And you can see now Devold is actually on a house right here where he can possibly get an elim. And, everyone's coming together now, and it's going to be close. It's a 6 damage pump. It does look like Devold's partner does get knocked. And the other one, it's only 1 player left, and it's not looking good for him. He's going to get eliminated off the bat. And that is a clean sweep of Devold's team right there. Very, very quick action. At least we were not cheated this time around. Nobody had the opportunity to run. So we'll go over to those players that actually managed to grab the victory off the bat. And that is, hopefully, I am on the right team right now. Oh, so it's 2 teams contesting here, and it's very blurry from Swivix POV. Guys in the Discord, we do apologize for that. So, okay, so it was a different team that came Pleasant Park this time around. So you had three teams contesting here, and you can see the team that had disengaged earlier in game one are doing the same thing again, not taking any fights at Pleasant. What is the strategy
Yeah.
there? Like, do you land at a main
Surely it's
POI?
placement points. Surely it's placement points, right? I mean, surely if you're figuring out then okay, well everyone's grabbing those kills, they're probably grabbing the better loot, etc., etc. Surely at this point, your best choice is your best choice is just to disengage, just to fall back, and just to hold on to your rotations as quickly as possible. I mean, of course, getting into the zone right now, number one priority. You don't want to be out of it, but we talked about the storm surges earlier, and a lot of the teams were below that threshold. So
Yeah.
you can't just be you can't just be hiding from everyone, map
Definitely.
after map after map after map, especially after a fight like that. I mean, you have to understand that the team who just won the fight, however they won it, surely they should be a little bit low on ammo. Surely they should be low on consumables, health.
Definitely.
Trying to
Yeah.
heal up, trying to set up. So a third party there would just be
Yeah, would
chef's
be.
kiss. Get an elimination, get some points, get some loot. You get yourself that damage as well. Even if
Yeah,
you don't get the
exactly.
elimination, you do the damage, which is
Exactly.
important at this point. So maybe, with a jump pad, they might still be keen to go back into it, but I think disengaging this early on again, it might be, doing more damage to them than it's helping. Ooh, I
Are
did
we
say they might re-engage.
are we seeing that coming to effect right now? It does maybe look like it. They mark a taxi cab. I don't know if
Nah.
they're going to do this.
I don't know. It's just they definitely need to be getting that damage up and being a
Yeah.
little bit more aggressive because, as you said, for majority of the other teams, they're on the catch up now. They're just
Yeah.
trying to catch up to the ridiculous amount of points that BVD and Goliath laid down in the first game.
Yeah.
Running away with 42 and that's 17 eliminations. I mean, that's a team that's not scared of fights.
Definitely.
That's a team that
Definitely.
Neymar, Work, Travis, they're going for the fights. They're going for those eliminations, not just for the damage threshold, of
Yeah.
the storm, but they're going to get the kills and make it easier for them to win at the end of the day because you're taking out enemies, you're taking out opponents. So I do think that for a lot of the teams they need to be a little bit more cognizant of that fact. I know it's obviously easier to run and to just rotate early on, and it's not a bad strategy
Not at
at
all.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. But at some point you're gonna have to take those fights.
It does look like they find themselves a beautiful llama, and if you don't know, like the llamas now, like are like animals. They run around and they do their own things, and they drop loot while running around. It has huge, large amount of HP. But the reason why they're not going for that llama specifically is because they did see oppositions in the far at Believer Beach, and that is none other than Neymar, Travis, and Woke. So they don't want to be contesting them or going into
Look,
their
I
MPI.
wouldn't want to contest them either. I've been saying they should, do some damage. They should take some fights, but
But not
that's a
them.
fight. That's not a fight I would take. That's not a fight I'd want to go for. Nah, if I saw those names, I'd be like, cool. I'm gonna go the other way now. Thanks so much. I'll just rotate all around the map to avoid you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we talk about it. There's strategy to everything. There's a good time to take a fight, and there's a bad time to take a fight. And all of that I was saying is that earlier on, surely that would have been a better time to take a fight than taking a fight with Travis and them. So it's fine. We'll just avoid both of them, but hopefully some damage will be coming through for them. Otherwise, they might be biting themselves in the backs later on.
Definitely will be seeing some Storm Surge active taking play here again because 84 players remain. Everyone's going for those passive off spawn situations. We did see a couple teams eliminated, about 12 teams 12 players actually eliminated off spawn. So
Sure.
yeah, it's a couple fights happening which we're missing clearly, but it's all good over here. And the teams we spectating, like CK, Zakis, and Punisher's Bojo, came second yesterday in the week 9. So let's see what this means for them. They aren't in a good position for week 10. I don't see them in top 5 just yet, but these guys are like late bloomers. They can easily just grab game 2, grab game 3. They are absolute phenomenal when it comes to that off-spawn fighting. Not off-spawn, low-ground fighting, controlling that area. And we could see them in endgame doing that for game number 2. Unfortunately, just game number 1, they were not screen sharing the POVs, but now we got them. So let's see what that would mean, though, for going into game 2. No damage dealt for them just yet as well. And people can see there was like a couple rotations that had got into play over here, and people disengaging, and that's corny complex, which is landed on by Divs, Latte, and Popcool. So yeah, like right here, decent amounts of loot. He's got that sniper, AR, shotgun, and medkit. Something that I do enjoy also seeing players carry is white heals, because you could easily get knocked in endgame and you don't have now a medkit or any of that sort to sort of heal up. And it's good to see he's got a medkit in the back pocket for himself or his teammates if anything succumbs to that. So yeah, Zaki, Zeke, and Bojo needing to make a comeback in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, they finished in 8th after the first game. They had 17 points. So, I mean, if we're looking at it, 17 points compared to what's second place currently, 29. That's
Yeah.
still doable. That's very doable.
Yeah.
That's extremely doable. So, I mean, getting up to second place, it's not like it's a far reach. You can
Yeah.
then take it even further depending on how, of course, that first team, in the form of BBD and Goliath do. You definitely can still catch up. But, I mean, the jump from where they're at now to second place, that's a lot easier. And then whatever's after that, well, bonus. That
Yeah.
you're just setting yourself up for the rest of the day. It's only map 2. They still have a lot of time to actually get the points in. They just need to make the plays. And I mean, as you were saying, they were running into, the potential drops there of Divs, Popcorn, and Latte. They're sitting in 10th. So for them as well, to try and get some eliminations here, to get those placement points up and running, it's crucial for everyone, really. I mean, we had a very top-heavy finish in the previous games, so everyone now is not just hunting for placements. Surely they should be hunting for a little bit of damage, a little bit of kills as well, and just to make it easier for themselves at the end of the day. But I'm happy to see that everyone that we've been spectating so far, they've been pretty kitted. They've been taking the slower routes around, taking the safe way through. But hopefully, surely, we should be seeing some fights coming up soon. And yeah, I do hope these guys have a better chance this time around to make it a little bit better for themselves.
Definitely. I mean, we still, over 2 minute span, haven't seen anyone being eliminated. We're still at 84 players alive right now. And that's just remarkable. I mean, this is what the Nibble bi-weekly series brings for the Fortnite ZA community. And that is every second and fourth week of the month. So if you guys are watching and you guys would like to take part in this, it is as simple as going over to eliteproseries.co.za and registering on a Wednesday or Friday, whether it is the second or fourth week of the month. But let's go over to the other contestants who are playing today, and that is going to be the Blue Shark Steady and Warrior, who are really good players. They came 5th in the week 9 leaderboard. They were at some point top 3 if I'm not mistaken, but unfortunately falling short quite. And that was so close of a snipe coming in from Blue Shark. But yeah, really good team players here, and looking forward to seeing what they can achieve in the long run of the week 10 right now. And there goes that Storm Surge, and they are juicy with damage, 941 damage above.
Ooh, okay. No, they're not in danger. Nah, they're
No,
fine. But
they-
at the moment, like on the leaderboard, they're sitting in 13th place with 10 points, right? So they have a lot to make up with. Second, as you said, 29. First is going to be 42. That's a little bit rough to get ahead. But I mean, a victory royale and a couple of eliminations. I mean, Bob's your uncle, you're there. So
yeah,
good team, especially, but just like everyone else, in such danger on the leaderboard. As you said, you have to get up to that top 2 spot if you
Yeah.
want that prize pool. So for this
Definitely.
bi-weekly series, they really need to get started on it, and chipping away at the damage and getting those elims up. Yeah, definitely going to help. But at least they don't have to worry about damage. They're sorted. Yeah,
they're
no.
literally comfortable for the next couple Storm Surges. I mean, they don't need to do anything, but that great pump in the end game is going to be very awful. You won't be able to do those clutch plays that we expect Blue Shark to do. He's a very good mechanical player, and by mechanical, the way he builds and get players in their boxes and works around that. He's a really talented player when it comes to that aspect. But with that great pump, I'm just gonna see him crying a bit. maybe if he does get focused, and it does look like it's a sort of a map focus from the players over here. They're getting shot left, right, and center. Warrior being cracked, has no shield left in his back pocket. Players need to start responding back, and that's a beam
Ooh.
from Blue Shark to say, hey, please, relax.
I'm here. What's up? You called? I answered. I'm up here. No, but definitely they need to get the damage dealt. They're definitely surrounded, especially with the storm coming in. A lot of rotations are going to be wrapping around them, so they need to be careful here. They definitely need to be careful, because as soon as those teams come through and they're in this kind of a position where they're caught between, 2 or 3 teams, they're going to just be collateral damage, really. So some beaming done well, but I definitely agree with you that those pump shotguns, the gray one especially going through in the last little bit of the zone,
Yeah.
we need to get an upgrade immediately. So taking some elims, taking some teams out, getting that loot up is definitely where their focus should be. The mechanics coming through, of course, we would hope that they get their loot sorted for those final little bits, because we saw how crazy it ran through. I mean, we had teams literally dropping from like flies. We had went from 68 to 23 within a couple of seconds.
Yeah,
and
literally.
that's the loot game that you have to be running. So hopefully they get themselves sorted, and hopefully we've got our second chances who hopefully won't be finishing in second, but
Hopefully.
there's a lot of teams that are wanting to get those placement points up and to get further and further on the leaderboard.
Yeah, a couple players still alive right now, but let's go over to the second players. Okay, I thought one of that second team had disconnected, but they're chilling. They're still in the lobby, so we'll stick on Swish, Ginger, and Storm right now. They just made damage threshold with 130 above. But that Storm Surge is still active right now, so anything's possible. I mean, and yeah, the Storm is shrinking just yet again. So this Storm Surge is carrying into Zone 4, and just immediately after Zone 4 is the 50-50 Storm Surge. So epic placement players coming into action right now for the teams right now. They are really just boxing up and staying safe and put. But yeah, I wonder who is having the kill points right now, because there's been a couple eliminations already, and you can see Medox in the kill feed grabbing himself one elim or knock on that player as well. And yeah, now they're just focusing, trying to get that damage up, because they're going to need it. To be honest, they will need it going into 5th zone, where that Storm Surge will activate yet again.
Yeah, I mean, at least in terms of loot, as opposed to Blue Shark and them, they seem to be pretty kitted.
Yeah.
They've got what they needed to really set themselves up here. The mat's also looking fantastic, so they're perfectly sorted in terms of loot. It's just that damage, it's those kills, it's the positioning that they've got. They're absolutely sorted. But now you need to be active. You need to be getting the damage. You need to be poking. You don't necessarily need to be pushing any teams or going aggressively, with that W into anyone. We saw how that ended up for a few other teams in the previous map. It wasn't great. But you can at least be picking away them. You've got the purple sniper as well. Get some shots in, do some damage, get yourself sorted for that storm that will most likely be looking to take a few of us out. So yeah,
definitely.
be careful.
I mean, 20 players needing to die between now and the next zone closing. So in 3 minutes, we will see a lot of players going crazy, trying to get some tags in, because I can guarantee you there's a lot more other players that haven't gotten that threshold just yet. And we can go and see, hover around between the players. Let's go over to Smer, Zylo, and they are eliminated, so we can't really watch them. Let's check Alter and see what's happening over there. And Alter and them, we don't really know exactly what's happening with them, but let's see. These are underrated players competing, making it all the way into the Week 10 finals, but they were hardcore focused. They're taking some consumables right now, a couple hot pots. He does have 2 big medkits in his back pocket over there, and we have a cheeky number of 69 players remaining right now, and 20 seconds until the storm starts shrinking. So yeah, let's see what these players are like here. I mean, underrated means, you're not going to be that much aggressive. You're an underdog in the tournament right now. So you could potentially be running into, the top 10 players or the top 5 players, and it's just not going to be an easy run for you. You're going to struggle going up against the oppositions. So I don't think they don't have enough damage, and they don't indeed. 108 damage below. They're gonna need to do something. So let's see what this team does exactly, and hopefully you can see on your side what that Storm Surge looks like as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be rough. I mean, we were talking about, just getting eliminations to get yourself sorted, but here this is crucial for them. Not only is this fight, going to determine whether or not they're still going to be alive for the rest of this map, but it's going to set themselves up with that Storm Surge coming through. And here comes the knock, and it's beautiful. The aim is on point. Not only to get the remaining 2 members, but at least 1 knock means that they will be happy with that elimination coming through. It's just all around good for this team. And I mean, definitely, as you were saying, underrated. But in this case, they can really show what they're made of. They can really show what they have been, keeping in store for us here. So taking through those eliminations, that's just going to help them just tremendously. You can see the loot as well looking a lot healthier now. And they should be setting themselves up well. I mean, still in the eye of the storm, but as that moves forward, now they really have to get going. So I'm happy to see this working out for them, because I was trying to say, like, this is crucial for them. This is absolutely, not only are they getting the damage that they need to do, they're getting elimination points, they're setting themselves up with the loot. Just beautiful. And there's no really, in terms of the risks of taking a fight, obviously you run the risk of getting eliminated. But if you win that fight, you get out of it, it's just got such good rewards. There's just no bad reason for taking it, especially in a scenario like this.
There's that Storm Surge. With 2 players above the threshold, they gotta pray and hope that, they get eliminated, or just 2 taps with your AR and you're in a good position. But it's striking down on them. That's 25 damage each strike. And it's your entire trio in this tough position. Losing HP, using your consumables, and they don't have any minis in his back pocket, so he needs some tags. He's praying and spraying. And let's see what that praying and spraying does for him. It doesn't look good, man. He 65 HP. They're trying to get some medkits in. It doesn't look like he's gonna get it in time.
Oh, no way. It's 4 seconds to win something now.
Oh, and they survive it. They survive it. Players go down below 50. Holy!
You couldn't have cut that closer. I was literally watching the seconds. I'm like, nah, they're done. They're done. It's it. Like, between them fighting another team and getting struck by the storm, are you kidding me? I was like, it's it.
It is.
It's over.
But just in the midst of that, they managed to pick up yet another elimination. Now sitting on 3 in total. That is 3 kill points going into the end game. A couple placements as well. They did use their launch pad very early. I wonder if the teammates Ethan and Daybreaker managed to have a launch pad. No, it doesn't. Looks like they're going to go in for that controller top and make those rotations in. But let's go over to Light, CK, Pojo, and Zakis, where they need to make a huge game for them. And we can see exactly what they're doing right now. And on board, a couple shots, focusing right down the players, trying to break them down into their box, but it doesn't look like it's going to be successful. And there's that 45 players rotation, and yet again the potential for Storm Surge being activated, and a pump from them, but it's not that big. It is only a 19 damage pump on the player right here.
Yeah, but like you were saying, that Storm Surge coming through. I mean, you're 28 below. Okay, never mind. It's fine. I won't finish my sentence. They're doing some good damage here, making sure they can get their rotations coming through. They're going to be right next to another team, though, so they're going to be going straight into a fight. Need to box up as soon as possible and get into this. Oh, this is going to be rough, because, I mean, we're talking about Storm, we're talking about the damage, we're talking about the risk of getting taken out here in this position.
And
they have to be very careful.
We do see that Zakis has been eliminated, but there's a free elim for them. They get that. And it's only 2 players going into the end game because, like you said, they were going into another fighting situation, and Zakis was not, unfortunately, in the player or in the teammate's box, and they get eliminated over there. But now, very healthy on damage, 195 above, 33 players remaining. Players dropping like flies right now, and their HPs and everything's looking very solid. Boja can take a big pot right now, but it's a server focus from opposition, so they can't really take the big pot. Holding down the fort, the boxes over here. They needed this game, but it doesn't look good for them. Oh, it's a pump and a pump. Oh, 175 And he does manage to get the knockdown. Will Bojo stay alive long enough to get the elimination is the question. You can see Bojo now making that rotation outwards, and they do manage to get that elim. Holy, let's go over to rejects quickly. But wow.
Oh, that came down to the wire there, and unfortunately for them, I mean, one player down, one more alive. Let's see if they can, hold on to this for the team. But as everyone is now just starting to find these elims, everyone is in each other's spaces right now. There's not a lot of room to work with here. Everyone is contested. Everyone is, getting involved in these fights as well. And I mean, you're talking about third parties, fourth parties. Everyone is just on the same tower, fighting the same fight and getting the same knocks. Ultimately, this is where it gets crazy. Woo!
Players on height are the week 9 champions right here. It's Reepsy, Rejects, and Christie managing to pick themselves up a couple eliminations. They are not looking too well on Mats though. He's got 45 red. He builds up, but no Mats at hand anymore. The opposition's now claiming height. Have managed to steal that from Reepsy, Christie, and Rejects, and they're just going in for the W team. Seems like will they be able to bring the players down is the question as they spray the buildings up again. It does look like they've managed to knock Crispy. And there you go, one player down, a couple mats for them. They do have the launch pad as well, which they can utilize to grab height.
Oh. And you have to just run, right? I mean, at this stage, you're taking these fights constantly, and that storm is just behind you. Every single second that you waste just means that the storm has an opportunity to just chip away at your HP, just chip away and put you in a position where you don't want to be. So everyone just continuously moving, continuously taking fights, trying to get those elims, trying to stay alive. It is so much to manage at this point in time, so that the fact that they're still here, the fact that they're still fighting, does bode really well. I mean, as you said, the winners of the previous week, they're sitting currently in 4th place with 24 points, and now they are just helping themselves out so much. I mean, 10 alive, and they are still in this. 9 alive, they're still in this. They're doing fantastically right now.
Yeah, as a duo, you would expect them to have been eliminated off the bat. But they're still here, still trying to grab it. But it does look like Reepsy now will get knocked. And he's going to go to full damage. Oh, Tank running out of mats over there. And that was E-Take, who we are spectating right now. Bruce Shark coming in 2nd place. And we don't know who has grabbed the victory royale, but it's a couple emotes coming into play. But man, talk about the players over there in that position. Rejects grabbing full damage and, could have clutched that position.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it. They didn't really have a lot of mats to work with there, and they were using a lot of their resources early on, just trying to stay alive, really. And then when those the fights really broke out, they were in a position where they didn't want to be, and it's just unfortunate that he falling down. You could see he was just looking for anywhere to just slip in and just stay alive, but it didn't happen. There's just no opportunity, no platform for him to grab there. But it is what it is. Ultimately, still doing very well. I mean, they finished in 4th in the first map. This time around, they finished in 3rd, and they grabbed a few eliminations along the way. So hopefully, those points will help them out. Whether or not it's going to be enough to get them into that 1st and 2nd,
let's see what happens. Let's see. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we're actually going into the game 3, and we'll be back with those statistics to let you know where the leaderboard is, where the players are standing, and what eliminations they had bagged. But guys, we'll be taking a short break, and we'll be seeing you guys quite shortly. So don't you guys go anywhere. Remember to leave a like, share the stream, and hit that subscribe button, as well as turn on post notifications, because we do this every 2nd and 4th week of the month. So let's go over to that break.
Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you want to change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you want to be young again, say you want to be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. You wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, you were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be, loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be.
Hey guys, so yeah, that was game 1 and 2 wrapped up, and we're about to go into game number 3. Esmery, what is your general thoughts on the Storm Surge?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. Like
Oh.
to add an element of that in addition to like RNG and like, you know, spawning somewhere and then not having any loot. Now adding something that's like, yo, by the way, if you're gonna run away from fights, we're gonna punish you and we're gonna take 25, damage.
It's honestly the worst to have in a battle royale, like, especially when you're playing placement. I mean, passive. You can't really survive these Storm Surge thresholds. It puts pressure on your playstyle as well. Like, you blow damage, get some tags, and you're like, oh my
Do
God.
something.
And yeah, it's just not it. But let's look at the leaderboard right here for the players. And in first is no other than Bravado X Goliath Gaming. And we can look at how much kill points and so forth they did grab for game number 2. But just look at how they've expanded the lead again and again, time in and time out, game 1 and game 2. But for game 2, they came 9th, eh?
Yo.
With 8 eliminations in the back pocket, though, so that was a couple kill points for them to sort of stay in first place. In second is the second cursed team, a Spooky, where they grabbed a 6th place with 4 eliminations. Some consistent games, losing about 10 different point games between game 1 and game 2. In third, you got Punishers, XWRG, XGG, Reapsy, Crispy, and Reject. We did see them on height at a single stage, but fortunately no mats and height being stolen from me. They've grabbed a third with 3 eliminations. Being in that position, I would have expected the team to grab a lot more elims because it is, you're in a heighted position. You can lay down the field on the low ground players and so forth. And then in fourth is Jamie. Jamie, I'm not entirely sure who he's playing with right now, but they managed to grab 7th place with 9 eliminations. So just falling short, a bit too aggressive, I assume. And then Bruce Shark with a 35-point game. That's Bruce Shark, Sterry, and Warrior with a 2nd place actually and 14 eliminations. So E-Take grabbing the victory royale over there with 8 elims, and we can see where they are on the leaderboard right
Currently
now.
ninth.
9th, yeah. So 9th with a 33-point game. That is actually fairly decent, seeing that they had 0 points game 1. So if they can't do that again, that's gonna put them on top 5 easily.
Yeah, I mean, there's been massive jumps. I mean, Blue Shark and them, they jumped from 8th to 5th. And Punishers as well went from 4th one up. Everyone's been making massive jumps, and Jamie as well. I think they weren't even in the top 10 when I looked at it. No, they did pretty well. So I mean, for a lot of these teams, like these second games have really been massive jumps. Jamie and them, they've been one of the teams that've been really consistent. 22 and 23, first and second map consecutively, and Punishers as well. The team that won previously. So they've been pretty consistent. Obviously, BBD and Goliath, they took that massive first win. Second one wasn't as great in comparison, but because of that massive first map, they're still in the lead. Whereas your second, pretty much your second up until, I'd say around about 2nd till 9th, it's still very close. I mean, you're going from 48 points to about 33 points. It's not a massive difference. It's very doable. Yeah. So for the rest of those teams, they still have an opportunity to jump into that top 2 spots. We still have 3 more maps. Yeah, still big possibilities for a lot of these teams.
Definitely. Talking about 3 more maps, guys, we in the 3rd one right now. The games has started, players have started jumping out of the battle bus, which we'll go on to after we talk about the prize pool. Prize pool being 1,350, first place taking 900, second place taking 450, and as well as some bragging rights to the Fortnite community for grabbing what is a 10-week successful series of the Nibble bi-weekly series. So let's go over and jump on Deervault POV, where we can see exactly what they're doing, what are the gameplays. And it does look like they've switched up completely. Instead of dropping directly into Pleasant Park, they're going to jump from this place over here and then get into Pleasant Park. That's kind of a strat there. Look, they got a blue shield already, and they are chilling with a blue AK.
Sure. All right. I mean, we have seen some interesting things happen here in Pleasant Park. Of course, we got cheated in our first game. We didn't really get to see the end of that. And once again, second map around, it was very quiet. There was a lot of disengaging, and everyone was just kind of playing it safe. And I mean, we saw that really bite a lot of the teams in the backside in the previous map, because a lot of the teams weren't above that damage threshold. Of course, we saw a beautiful instance of the Storm Surge coming through, gave me so much anxiety. So hopefully this time around, we'll be seeing these teams doing a lot more, being a little bit more active, especially if we're going to, we're on the 3rd map. And as I said, there's still a lot of close positioning, a lot of close points that could really mean that the difference between you grabbing a part of that prize pool and not grabbing that prize pool is you staying active and actually going for the fights and hopefully getting the W's, getting the kills, whatever you need to do. So I definitely want to see teams a little bit more active this time around. I mean, it's starting to get down to that wire now.
Yeah, you can already see 89 players in the lobby. So a couple off-spawn fights, and there goes restricted. Barry managing to knock out anonymous player over there. So, it is a lot more aggressive plays that we will be witnessing. And the Deervault and them are contested. They're playing it passive right now, trying to get the best possible loot. He does got a green AR, a blue AK, and a pump, but he's going to get the SMG in. Oh, I just dropped and picked it up. So yeah, now the option to maybe go in and fight is the question. It does look like his teammates are already in somewhat a build fight, and Devils now come in John Wick style with the vehicle over there, and you can see they pick up a knock or two for the teams right here, and this is really good. It just brings them that gameplay that they missed out on game number 2. And you can see the player dropping down, and there you go. A clean wipe, and they emote, and it's the team that took them out in game number 2. It is a revenge play here, Esmery.
I mean, you love to see it. You love to see it. We said, teams got to be active. They got to get those eliminations. They got to get those damages up, because that storm is no joke. It's really no joke. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit. It really puts a lot of pressure on the teams to stay active, to change up their play style, especially. Which, in my opinion, I think it's awesome, because like we've seen so many battle royales where you have a lot of teams and a lot of players just playing placements, just staying safe, staying passive. So to enable something like points from eliminations, to enable something like the storm surge, which literally forces you to do damage or else. I mean, I like that. I think it just means that, it's obviously more entertaining for us to watch. It means for everyone playing, it's a little bit more hype, especially if you're doing well, getting those shots in, because it's a battle royale, right? You have to be good at shooting. You have to be good at doing damage. So it's a part of the game. It's fundamental. You got to get it. So I'm happy to see this sort of, really forcing a lot of the teams to get in it, to do the damage, because it's vital. It's vital, especially when we look at the points.
Now moving over to the VFX team right here, Rambo, Kilo, and Ark, and he's getting beamed. Trying to take a mini out in the open. He boxes up in regret, because that is using a lot of consumables, and very early, you've already looted up. Like, what more consumables can you have? He's only got 2 more in the back pocket, so this is going to be very tough. And you can see Rambo no-scoped. I don't know if that was a knock the body or straight elim, but he no-scoped somebody's 0 meters in. And Rambo, Kilo, and the player that they're playing with right now is Ark. And yeah, they look like they have the upper hand right now. They are seeming to hunt a player down in between the builds over here. Will they get the exact location is the question. And it does look like they are hunting down very, very much. And it's a 3v1 situation, I believe. Oh, and there's just nothing you can do. One player does get knocked though. How can the team and the oppositions respond right now? And it's a huge edit from a bump and a pump, but they've managed to clutch that up either way, and we'll get the revive on Kilo right now. So crazy, hey? Like the zone's pushing in now in 3 minutes, and they got the chug cannon, so that's actually quite decent. I was quite worried, that they've utilized all their consumables and so forth, but now they got that chug cannon in the back pocket, which is infinite amount of heal ups for you. Just take some time to reload.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of time, but I mean, that it's crucial. I mean, just to have something there that you can have infinite heals with. In terms of looting, we were talking about it earlier, and you don't want to be using that many consumables early on, just purely immediately after that loot zone, and now you have to worry about once again going back into another loot zone as you're trying to just fight everyone off. So having something like that to cover your heals, that's massive. So definitely wonderful to have that in. And I mean, in Coral Castle, of course, I mean, looking at the map that we had earlier on, we really weren't expecting anyone to drop through this. I mean, it could be just through rotations. We had quite a few teams dropping around it. So it's interesting to see that this is where we're ending up, and this is where teams are actually dropping like flies as well. I mean, definitely looking a lot more active this time around, which is what we've been waiting to see. We've got, I believe that's 67. You'll have to tell me about.
67.
Yeah, I can read numbers. It's great. But for a lot of them, it's absolutely crucial here to get those elimination points. It's so close. It's not like it's impossible at this point in time. So if everyone just puts their best foot forward, we could be seeing a massive change up in that leaderboard once again.
Definitely. And now in the position where those passive players that are in the map somewhere, they are happy and celebrating, happy feet, because we won't be getting that second storm surge right now. 67 players left in the lobby, so players are saying, guys, it's either now or never. There's 3 games left. We gotta put in the effort to get some eliminations to try and make a change in the leaderboard. And you can see to the left over there, that's where Dealwood and them managed to pick up some elims. So I'll take highly doubt they're nearby. They're probably already rotated inwards. And the disadvantage about Coral Castle is that you never get zone. It's like one game in 100 that you will get zone on you. So it's always long-term rotations for the teams that, go to such edge of the maps and so forth. And there's just no mobility that you can get from there. There's no vehicles in Coral Castle. I mean, it's on the ocean and so forth. So, yeah, they're just gonna need to rotate on foot and try and make the best for it. But let's go over to the second team right now that had grabbed game number 2 in second place, which is Bruce Shark, Sterry, and Warrior. And it does look like someone managed to get rebooted. We're back at 68. Imagine that's the case where everyone sort of gets rebooted and we go back to 75. Players won't be happy with that.
No, we don't want this. No, guys,
Yeah.
it's a battle royale. Please stop.
Yeah, so you can see they've got a bounty hunt on a couple players outside Lazy, and I'm assuming that play could possibly be noted Card and Spooky solely because it is Lazy Lake and they do land at Lazy Lake, so it could possibly be them, but it doesn't look like they're interested at all to doubly key that team. But they do have a bounty on them, so let's see what happens. I mean, anything's physically possible. They could be running into the Swizzy and them who do land at Catty. And let's go and actually have a look at Swizzy, Davs, and Vibes to see what's cooking with them. What is the plays like? And I do see one of them being muted. And just talking about being muted, they are eliminated off the bat over there, so they won't be able to get that gameplay. So let's go see what Noted, Card, and Spooky's doing. And were we correct to say this is the team that is bounted? Yes, it is indeed. They are situated outside Lazy Lake right now. Just obviously farmed. They're already in a position of being boxed up and now reforming those mats that they used. So they are here and no more in second place, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean,
no, they're still in second, yeah, with 48 points. But right behind them is Reepsy, Crispy, and Rejected, 46. Behind Reepsy is tied Jamie and Brewshark with 45. So literally, top 2 to 4 is... It's a minute worth of gameplay to come second.
literally, no, that's what I'm saying. That's like why everyone needs to be so active. And with Brewshark and them having that that bounty, it's going to be interesting because that's going to be the direct path to get potentially from 5th to 2nd. Because if they get this elim, bam, you're sorted.
Yeah.
Now just hold on for the rest of the game and get those points. You know, that in terms of like having to worry that your competitors are going to run away with you, you've taken one of them out. This would be absolutely crucial for them to do this.
Yeah, but it's it's tricky. You going up against like being a tier 1 and going up against another tier 1. Oh, those fights can go on for some time.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking at Goliath Rejects taking out Bravado Kareem. So let's go over to that POV right now, and you can see it's a huge shot pump, and Crispy has been knocked, so it's possibly a 2v2 situation. A nice 45 damage right there, and they're fighting in Storm here, so they're taking away, and they can't really spend too much time on this fight right now. He's managed the time to take some heals, but so is the oppositions, I believe, taking some heals in this play. And now here's Reepsy to sort of come in to the play to assist Rejects right now. And you know what's salty right now is that Kareem and Rejects were trio partners like a week ago. And they're up against each other right now, and he's already taken out Kareem, and he now needs to take out Nightclone and Chimp. Does look like there's a solo player in there, or is it a duo? I'm not entirely sure how many oppositions we do have right here.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about this. It kind of feels personal. I mean, the fact that they're taking this fight now in the zone, HP chipping away, it's really hurting them to prolong this, to continue this. But both sides just look so so focused on finishing this off. And I mean, it might be finished sooner than we think with that knock coming through. It's not looking too healthy for them. And this is the issue that I was talking about. Like, you're fighting in that zone. You're constantly not at battle with, not just at battle with the person in front of you, but also with everything around you. You can see that HP just chipping away bit by bit by bit. And I mean, as the storm continues onwards, it's just going to get worse.
Definitely. And that was Kareem managing to pick up a kill on rejects. But Reapsy now left alone here. He does have a blue pump. So, with the Storm Surge tipping away, it does manage to break the player. And will he be able to get the Elam is the question. And it is going to be a huge pump from Reapsy, who manages to clutch a 112 pump to the head and get that Elam. But still, guys, the zone is chipping away. His HP does have a couple 12 bandages, but I don't think that's going to be enough if they continue this fight over here. He doesn't have enough mats as well as a solo. So if he's were to rotate out of this successfully, it's still a major loss in the book right now, because he's a solo. The card is about to expire in 22 seconds. I don't think there's anywhere they can actually reboot rejects, because we are going into those end games anyways. It's going to be very tight situations nonetheless. And we can just see Reapsy right now going in for the W key. Will he be able to locate the player? He does indeed do so. And it's a couple edits from both players. Manages to grab high, he gets that edits. It's a 64 pump. Does crack the shield. Loses 13, needs to clean it up now, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. And it does look like Nyclo will be able to eliminate Reapsy off the bat over there. And that's just GG's, man. You were in a good position to sort of win the week 10, maybe win that game. But it's Kareem and them who come out on top in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was scary either way. You're talking about, ex-duo parties and just running at each other. It's personal, and it wastes time when you're fighting in that zone, because as we were talking about it, those consumables get really, really scarce later on, and you still have to make that rotation in. You still have to continue the rest of this game. At 55, remaining, there's still a lot of room to be going out here without any placement points. You're so close, yet so far. You don't want to be getting eliminated here on out. Otherwise, the only thing you can work with is your elimination points. And when we said that, yes, it's close for, that top 5, that top 6, even maybe even all the way to top 9, it's still doable. But if you're running out early like that, just with elimination points, it's impossible, really. So map 3 is really like that pivot point where teams go from, okay, it's doable for us to still get this prize pool, to not much we can do. All that we can really play for is, getting up further on the leaderboard, but you can't really be running for that prize pool, which is obviously demotivating for a lot of teams. It's demotivating for players to come back and, basically play a game for nothing at the end of them. Nothing in terms of, prize pool, just only the bragging rights, saying, hey, at least we took map number X of, the bi-weekly series, but we didn't come through on that top 10. So it's important for everyone to make sure that they're making the smart decisions, that they're making those fights, count for them, that it's not just wasting everything that they've been working for.
Oh man, and perfectly said. You trying to go in for that back-to-back win. It would have been spectacular grabbing week 9 and week 10 in the same weekend. I don't think there will be a time where we'll have a Nibble bi-weekly series like this, where we have them so back-to-back like that. But, it's still very tight. I mean, we did see Name on them grab that 40-something point game in a single game. So literally anything's possible with rejects, and then they could turn things around and go on the front foot and, show why they top at the game and get those eliminations. And game 4 and 5 they could win. Anything's physically possible. It's what we love about Battle Royale. You can't put a setting stone that, okay, this team is grabbing that victory royale, because where Name on them are like 12 points, 13 points lead right now, Rookie and them are still alive in the game, and they are getting eliminations as it stands right now. And we can go over to Noted, Card, and Spooky Boss to see exactly what they're doing. I mean, you can see off the bat there, they do got that 1 kill point from Noted. And it was a beautiful snipe. I did see it in the kill feed. And you can see a couple players knocked over there. They need to try get a pre-fire snipe, and it's just not going to connect. However, but players dropping right now in this game number 3. You know, a lot of players saying, let's W key.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Like we said, I mean, it's map 3. It's do or die. So I mean, yeah, everything is possible. You can definitely go and grab some ridiculous points like that first 42 points we saw today on the first map, or you could be the first team dropping with 0. But ultimately, for a lot of these teams, they're so close to grabbing that prize.
my
Woohoo!
God.
Never mind. Maybe that fight's not where you want to be going.
It is a snipe too. He snipes and he gets sniped back. It's like literally the worst. But nobody focuses the team, and that they get lucky to be alive, and they get the 50-50 zone as well. So they don't need to make any rotations right here. They chilling in the next zone form, and they can heal up. He's back at already 100 HP. He's got some big pots in the back pocket as well. So he's back at 200 HP. But talk about unlucky, you know, you send out a snipe and
Instant.
and you get sniped, headshot sniped back. So
Yeah, that's an instant clap back.
let's go over to Bruce Shock and them, who now is in a potential place to get that top 3, top 2 due to Rejects, Reaps, and Crispy being eliminated so early on. You know, they had barely any placement points, and they only got 2 kill points, I believe, from that fight that they were engaged in. So now Bruce Shock and them making a rotation, hopefully on a dead side rotate. Oh, there's a launch pad here from the opposition team, so this is going to be a clean dive in to the next zone right now, and you can see Warrior topping in, and he's managed to grab the next zone. So fantastic stuff here, lots of placement points being grabbed from the team, and you know, potentially dampening that lead that Rejects and them had on second,
Ooh,
third,
and the damage. They're not stopping. They're not afraid. They're happy to take these fights, do the damage that they need to do. And I mean, why not, right? They're so close to getting into that second place. I mean, they literally, at the last time we saw them, they were 3 points away, 4 points if they want to take over, from getting second place. So at this point in time, the fact that they're so close, the fact that they're still getting closer and closer to those top finishes, this is crucial for them. They are just beautifully taking out these teams and opening themselves up some opportunities here. They've got the launch pad. They've got all the opportunities they need to grab at this point in time.
And no need to launch pad because the zone is in favor of them. So the first moving zone going to behind Bruce Shock, and they managed to grab that Elam so clean. Just talk about that kill points, and it does look like they've managed to, you know, eliminate those 3-point lead Rejects and them had on them. So at the end of this, we will be looking at potential second, third place for the teams here. But it's not only that, you've also got Noted, Card, and Spooky, who we should not forget is in that top 5 position as well, and they are alive. It is a little bit of a storm surge warning with 39 players, 9 players being above the threshold right here. And still, game number 3 showing true potential stack games, and they're gonna use that launch pad to get further into zone, and he's gonna build up to connect to his teammates. But speaking about those top 2 players, Spooky, Noted, and Card, they get an Elam right there, and that happened quickly. Oh, it doesn't even look like the player had that amount of loot. I mean, no blue kills or anything. Let's go see how Spooky, Card, and them are doing right now, and we can see what their rotations are looking like for them.
Yeah, everyone's just so close, close in this final little bit of the zone. I mean, we've got 37 left. Everyone still needs to drop like flies. Everyone still has to be careful because around every corner there's damage. So as the storm keeps moving forward and forward, everyone just trying to, you know, be the first to not only get into that position, but to hopefully find those eliminations. Still many players that need to drop, still many placement points up for grabs at this point in time. And like we said, this is really the moment where everything shifts and everything makes sense, and the beams coming through, the damage being dealt. Ooh, on the heels, damage is there, and everyone just trying to run away into safety, into the cover that they need to. But this could be a beautiful elimination coming through for Spooky and them. I mean, sitting in second place right now, they still got a ways to go if they want to catch up to that first place point. Sitting currently at 48, need to get all the way up to 62. You definitely have to be under the impression that these guys are hungry for it. They're hungry for eliminations, not only for those placements, but they want to get as many points as they can to close the gaps.
Damn. I mean, 25 players. Players are dropping now. I mean, we're getting into those final moving zones. It's getting thinner and thinner as you rotate, which means that you will get unlucky. You will run into a player who's managed to sneak their way into your top and get those eliminations right there. But for Spooky, Card, and Noted right now, they're playing passive and playing slow. They're not being targeted that much. And just as I said that, there's a player in the box. Will they get this elimination? I have no clue what's happening. Players dropping right now, and it's Spooky, Card who get eliminated, and it's Spooky left actually, Noted with the knock, and Card out. Spooky left has a solo in the team to grab those placement points, and just a massacre had happened over there. I say that's commentator curse right there.
Yeah, you did that. Look what you did. Look what you did.
They were,
they were, and then you had to say something, and now they're not. Look what you did.
No, and he's lost a couple HP to Storm. Will he manage to pick up an Elam to get that siphon off the players over there? Oh, GG. 9 players remaining right now. He's probably in a position for top 5 as it stands right now. A couple solo plays, it seems, then for the teams. So he's still making those rotations. He can't really use a medkit in these fast moving zones right now, and needs to pray that he can get a siphon, because that HP is not looking good at all.
No, and I mean, you're talking about commentators curse, and this is the team that has been cursed for second place wins. And once again, now Spooky literally is holding all of the hopes and dreams of his team on his shoulder. Is going to be doing well to find that first limb. Now just needs to keep holding on. That zone damage coming in so low, and still fighting off players left, right, and center. You have to be kidding, but it's a second place finish once again. Unfortunate for them, but great for the winning teams coming through. They should be able to pick up a lot of points from that, surely. I mean, holding on, Spooky getting eliminations with, like, I think barely 10 HP left towards the end there. I don't know how, but made it work.
Man, and it was Dubs, Popcool, and Latte managed to grab that third game over there. But spectacular gameplay from Spooky, you know, like you mentioned, that 10 HP clutch. He grabs 2 eliminations for himself, and that's gonna help him a lot, especially with those placements. We're not seeing Neymar grabbing the win over there, so that could potentially dampen the lead as well, just from first place to second place. Let's see what that means though going into game number 4, guys. We're gonna be back with a short break taking place right now, and we still got game 4 and 5 in line for you guys, so don't you guys go anywhere. Hope you guys stay here.
Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live a loud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live a loud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe.
Guys, welcome to game number 4, a spectacular sequence of game 1 to 3, and Esmery absolutely mind blown at what she's watching over here. I mean, so much action on screen here for us, and it's inexplainable of what has happened, and we'll talk about the leaderboard shortly. But what's your thoughts right now, Proxy?
I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I feel like everyone is like sort of on the same sort of skill level, and then you just see like one or two people just going absolutely crazy. Like you said, we had such a top heavy first map that I was like, okay, so this is gonna be a VVD X Goliath game. We're just gonna be watching them, dominating.
Yeah.
Then no, I was so wrong. We had people in 8th place, in 10th place, taking that victory royale, taking the W's, running away with the kill points. That ultimately now I'm looking at the leaderboard and I don't know how to explain the leaderboard, but it's insane because we've just been catching up, and that gap that started from that first map. I mean, you saw that 42 points. So it's like, okay, that's it. That's it for the game. We know who's gonna win, yada yada yada. And that's not the case here. Everyone is, coming to the party, getting the points. I mean, you can see the main dogs, they took that game. 36 points running away compared to the rest of them. Everyone is getting points. Everyone is getting close to getting those W's that now it's really getting competitive, which is amazing to see.
I mean, talking about Divs and them, they didn't have like the best of start to the tourney. I mean, if you look 14-1 and then 36, but in that
Yeah, it wasn't looking good.
single game, they've managed to grab 11 eliminations and a victory royale. But Neymar and them placing 9th with 12 eliminations. So they W keying a lot, and it's costing them placement points. I mean, it's gonna hurt them in the long run, dying 9th consistently. And you can already see it's now so close. What is that? That's a 12-point lead where they had a 20-point lead going into game 2. They had a 20-point lead going into game 3, but now it's 12. It's decreasing over time, and they're going to need to go for the placement points as much as they love to get those eliminations. I mean, they top tier when it comes to that. But Jamie, talk about Jamie just like ranking up on the leaderboard right now, and I have no idea why, but he got 3rd place and 10 eliminations, just short of the win over there. We did see Spooky probably eliminating that entire trio. We did see some clutch plays from Spooky, and Spooky in a position for 2nd with 3 eliminations. They've gone in for a lot of placement points, but just the kill points need to pick up if they want to see themselves better than 2nd place.
Yeah. I mean, look, we were talking about it, right? It's competitive now. It's no more a case of okay, X and X are gonna take the game, X and X are gonna just run away with it. It's what I'm liking to see is how close those top spots are really getting. For some of the other teams, unfortunately, like we said, that was the pivotal moment. Map 3 was kind of where it was like, okay, are you still in this for a little bit of that prize pool, or are you not? And unfortunately for a lot of teams, it's not the case. But they can still play for that leaderboard. Hey, they can even make it harder for those top teams that are trying to get that prize pool. You can be a little bit of a ruining situation here. They can just go and they can just make it difficult for them. But either way, I'm happy to see that we still got some people in this. We've got everyone still hungry for those kills, still hungry for the placements. And yeah, once again, Pleasant Park is not looking so pleasant for some of these teams. Whether or not we're going to actually see some people, taking the fights this time around, I'm curious. Like, we've had a lot of passive plays today, which is it's weird. Like we were talking about, like the Storm Surge alone should be, a massive indicator that you need to be active. You need to be looking for fights. So it's curious to me that we still had those passive plays coming through. And I think for a lot of those teams that were just choosing to play for the placements, they're gonna look at the strategy board and be like, maybe not the best idea to have done that.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at the kill feed, it looks like Goliath Rejects was contested, and they weren't contested game 1 to 3, but now they did manage to pick up those eliminations, luckily. But that could have been tragic to them, and that could have been, a total wipeout on Goliath Rejects, Reapsy and Crispy. And seeing that they got like a 0-point game in game number 3 going up against Kareem, that would have been a GG's in the books for them, because as it stands right now, they could possibly walk away with the victory royale and grab this. But on the other hand over here, guys, we got Deovold and his trio, sort of sitting ducks. He has no shotgun at hand. I wouldn't say he must engage in this. In fact, maybe loot the right side of Pleasant as his teams are doing so. But to sort of sit ducks and try aim in with no shield at all, no shotgun at all as well, It's gonna be detrimental. So happy now that he's gone into a position to loot up, but it does look like his teammate will get knocked, and it's gonna be a 3v2 situation now, and just not what you want to look at for the players right now. Still no shotgun. What is the play right now? They do get the vehicle, and they're going for the disengage.
Again. Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, like, we were talking about it. You know, there's a smart time to disengage. There's a smart time to take a fight. You know, there's good time for everything. And at this point in time, they've already had a player knocked. You know, they clearly don't have the best loot to work with here. So taking a fight would just be to their detriment. If they can rotate through, maybe even get some loot on the way, great. They can re-engage. If they can't, just leave it. Like, go for the duo. If there's no point in you know getting that res up, and you can't really do that safely, then you're just biting yourself in the back. So yes, where I like to see more fights and I like to see more teams heading head to head, it's a question here of whether or not they can do that in a safe manner. Might be going for that reboot card. 20 seconds left on that one. It's close.
I think he can make
It depends.
Yeah, the team did disengage completely here, trying to get into a W key area, but they got the card. They can reboot in Pleasant as well, but that could be pushing it. They're going to have to find another POI that they can reboot on, and they're still in the running for this, so not the best run though. I mean, we did see them die game 2 quite early, and it was just tough plays all around from them. But let's go over to Punisher, Race, Spies, and Chili. We're just gonna have to set that up for the viewers and yourself as well, so you could see. You're just gonna look at the leaderboard for a quick second or two. And
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just look at the leaderboard. It's fine. Why do we need to see Fortnite? Thank you. I need to see Fortnite.
So there we go, and it does look like we jump on board with them, actually in a fighting position, and they are disengaging from this, but the teams are not stopping there. They're gonna go in for the W key, and it does look like one of their players has been knocked down, so it is a easy 3v2 situation. And they land directly on Race, and Race is all alone now, going in a 2v1. It does look like only 2 players managed to fly down here. Huge pump from Race, but I don't think he's going to be able to clutch this. It's very difficult. He does get another pump from the player. And Race just trying to stay alive. Another pump. He's keeping at this, but he can't for any longer because he doesn't have that much mats. He does get hit from the sides, and it's going to be a knock either way. And that is Light CK, Bojo, and Zakis who managed to pick up that Elim. So they're picking up on the W keys right here. I mean, they land Steamy stacks. To go all the way from Steamy to the IO Gods is huge. And you can see Light CK getting knocked, or not knocked, but sniped from afar. But unfortunately, we won't be able to see this gameplay for any longer because Race and them are eliminated. They did get eliminated. So we'll go over to Bruce Shark, Steri, and Warrior and them just to see what's happening with their POV.
Yeah, so I mean, they're for Light CK and them. They're currently in 5th place, with 51 points. Your top 2 is 86 points and 74 points, right? So, I mean, that's a 30 to a 20 odd, 26 odd points that you need to grab to sort of get yourself in a comfortable position for that prize pool. It's not impossible, definitely not. We've been seeing a lot of teams doing that actually quite consistently. And Blue Shock and them, they've been one of the teams to actually grab a 35-point game and a 23 for the previous. So
Yeah.
definitely possible for them if they can keep themselves in this. But for Light CK and those guys, they've been getting 17 points for every single map. We were actually looking at it earlier.
map.
Every single map, they've been grabbing them 17 points. So for them to now go and get that 20 odd, 36 odd points to get themselves up to first and second, to get that prize pool, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be heavy. So, yeah, I think for them going for those eliminations, taking out teams, it's definitely the right call that they need to do, especially if they can do it in such a way that doesn't break them in later on. I'm happy to see it, and they need to keep on doing it.
Yeah, on the other hand, we are looking at Weepsy Chris P in some danger. Rejects already eliminated off the bat, but now Weepsy also taking a lot of damage on himself. And it's a pump, a 50-50 situation, and they do manage to clutch that up. But who they eliminated is the question. I have no idea, as they are anonymous players. But look at the elims they have right now. 6 eliminations? They are very aggressive right now, but without their third player rejects, this could be some tough place for them. They do have the reboot card though, and there's some potential POIs that are still open to, you know, go get those reboots on. But that was extremely close. That 50-50 with Crispy, he did almost lose that, but he clutched up, and the team are happy yet again. But it's a couple of shots from afar. Will he get the launch pad successfully? He does so indeed. And again, more shots from left, right, and center. Reepsy, Crispy now need to sort of rotate inwards to Boney Burbs, where they can revive rejects over there and reboot him into the lobby yet again.
Do you think it's possible for them to get into that top 2? Because, I mean, currently they're sitting in 9th place with 46 points, right? We've still got 2 more maps. Of course, currently running now with the first one. I mean, unless you're taking out the competition, unless you're taking out the people in that top 8, so that they can't get any more points. Because if they get any more points, I mean, it's already like a 40-point gap between first and where they're at. And I mean, it's a 30-point gap between second and where they're at.
I mean, they would need 11 more eliminations and a victory royale in order to get a 40-point game, and that would just, you know, that would just that would just tie their points for first place. But we can see, oh no.
You're talking about 11. You're talking about 11 kills. You're talking about just trying to get, you know, that 40-point game, and now immediately just trying to get that reboot coming through. Yeah, it's not going great. It's not going great because immediately there's aggression from other teams. Immediately everyone is hightailing it to them. So I mean, as they get the one reboot, they have to look for another.
Yeah, no, it's just not looking good for rejects in them right now. But still, so much kill points that they've grabbed this time around. Rejects now with no loot, no blue shields. He's running out in the open right now. He's literally bait for anyone who spots him out, and that's 3 points. He hides in the bush and he's now safe. But let's go over to other players just to give them the freedom to make the decisions on what they need to do right now. But on the players are noted in them, it does look like they're going to be finding themselves in some action over here, and this could potentially be well for them if they manage to grab it. And that's a wall, 112 pump, and he does get hit back, so he needs to now go and retreat to heal up, take some consumables. But a huge pump from Noted either way. He grabs that wall, he takes 112 pump to the head, but he is dealt some damage backwards to himself, which is at this point was really huge damage as well. But now Card and Spooky on the front, they doubly keen trying to get as much pressure on the opposition to make sure that they are not healing up as well. But some good strategies that we are spectating right here. You know, you got the 2 players keeping that energy on and that pressure while Noted healing up back to 200 HP. And this is still looking very much advantage to Noted, Card and Spooky.
Sure. I mean, just everyone really just gunning for those points at this time, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Everyone is just hitting the shots. Everyone's just feeling good, regardless of what the scoreboard is saying, regardless of where they're at or where they're going. Everyone still seems very active and very competitive, which, you know, we say like at these last few games, you know, everyone the motivation's a little bit low because they're like, okay, but like, what can we really do in the situation to get to the prize pool? Not much, but I mean, again, taking that motivation and taking that mentality of, well, we might not be able to get the prize pool, but we can damn sure make it difficult for everyone else to get it.
Definitely.
We can definitely, you know, ruin a couple of teams' plays and ruin their points. So for them to still be here, to still be fighting everyone in this, I'm happy to see it. We still got, what's that, 53 players left? Is it 63? Hey, look, I can read numbers again. It's great.
Hey, let's go.
And that zone coming through means that, you know, there's still a lot of teams, a lot of players that are going to be looking at wiping and getting taken out. I mean, so far, everyone's still a little bit in danger of not getting any placement points. You know, we want to see that top 17, so, you know, a few eliminations out and then you'll be fine, you'll be sorted. Looks like that just came through. So now's when everyone can take a little bit of a sigh of relief and really start getting for those eliminations, because they can definitely get placement points here. It's just a matter of how much.
Definitely. And, in the position that Noted and them are in, they needed that elimination points because Jamie is just like a couple, 2 points ahead of them. So that would have been crucial, would have eased the mind that 2 points make a huge difference. We are looking at that being a 2 point difference between second and third. So if that means, like, imagine first place being the 2 point difference, it's like an opportunity to not win yourself the 900 rand split between three, but the champions for week 10 over here. And just in the kill feed over there, I did see rejects get knocked, so it does look like Crispy is going to be a solo with that trio, and it's just not their day or their week for Nibble bi-weekly series. They did grab the champions for week 9, and unfortunately I don't think they're going to be doing that for week 10.
Yeah, no, I don't see that being possible at this point in time. We said,
Yeah.
I mean, they had to at least get 40 points just to tie it out with first place.
Yeah,
And
and first place would be grabbing points as well, so it wasn't going to be an easy comeback for them in game number 4. And we did see them get knocked. It was an opportunity. In fact, if Crispy was on Reapsy while getting that reboot, he would have never gotten sniped from behind. But that wasn't the case. Crispy was looting up himself, trying to get a good amount of mats for him and his team. But we are looking at now, different positions and plays for Reapsy, and they died. So I still think Crispy is alive as a solo, grabbing as much placements as he can right now, which is really good either way. And it's better finishing top 10 than finishing like bottom. So playing their minds out and heart is where the sport lies, and what makes good sportsmanship right there. But 43 players, just 10 players dropped dead within that zone form and shrinking.
yeah, it's just, you can see this. I mean, looking at the team that we're spectating now, they're literally surrounded by so many players. Everyone just building up towers, trying to get themselves into a position that
Jesus.
they can really be taking. You okay there?
Look
You
at that!
okay?
Look at that tower there. I'm just looking at that. That's a huge face.
And here I thought you were dying from, from a little bit of the sickies. You're dying from the building that's happening.
Yeah, no, I just looked over there.
We said they wanted to get height. To be fair, they wanted to get the ledge up on everyone, but that's
that's true.
Shoot.
That's the Vodacom tower right there.
They got the best signal right now, man. They're
Literally.
chilling. They're just waiting for everyone to come through, and yeah. Okay, well, moving on from that swiftly. Everyone now taking that rotation through. We've got 44 left. Everyone's
a
still.
reboot.
Oh, nice little reboot coming through. So there's still a lot of contention, but everyone is getting closer and closer to each other. So I mean, I'm actually surprised that we haven't been seeing a lot of Storm Surge coming through this time around. Seems like everyone definitely is dropping a lot quicker.
We could potentially be in a position where these 44 players remain, but just as I say that, it does look like two players get knocked, so they will get their finish, and you can see now E-Take actually doing some damage over there, and now 42 players remaining. Potential 30 threshold Storm Surge to happen at the moving zone, but I highly doubt that will come into play. There's a lot of W keying happening in the leaderboard. You can see here shots going left, right, and center. So I mean, honestly, as it stands right now, E-Take is doing a number. I mean, look again in the kill feed. He's grabbing himself another elimination. Now 40 players remaining right now, and we could potentially see him grabbing game 4 just like he did in game 2. So maybe the even numbers are for him.
Yeah, I can't believe that everyone is in such a small area now, and we're not just seeing numbers dropping immediately. We still got 40 left. And everyone is so close to each other at this point in time. I mean, you can see the Vodacom tower is not even involved in this case in points. So
Yeah.
everyone is just now making moves, making rotations, and having to find themselves a better place to chill it out. Wait for the zone to come through, get the mats up and sorted. But it's crazy to see because everyone must be so close. So surely you know exactly where everyone's at. But to try and take the fight now would result in not so great positioning for you. And we can see this happening right now. So some fights breaking out, and it's risky. It's risky business at this point in time because no one wants to get dropped out. No one wants to be going back to that lobby and waiting for that final map because. I mean, if we were talking about map 3 being pivotal, this is now where we're looking at the top 5 making a change, making a difference to get into that top 2. If they want to get that prize pool, and with the shots beaming through like that, you can see no armor left around, have to pop off those pots as soon as possible and be careful because there's still damage right around the corner waiting for them. It's a difficult situation for anyone here, and I mean, for the teams like these that are just trying to get some points, getting up onto that leaderboard, not even in contention really for the top prize pool. It's hard. It's really hard. But I'm happy to see that they're still fighting this.
Yeah, I mean, we did see them in a position where they were actually, needing to make that reboot. And you can see now the entire trio is here together in the end game positions. They haven't had the best of Nibble bi-weekly series week 10. But they're here to, play all 5 games, compete, and try do the best they can. I mean, it wasn't good for them game 2 where they actually died to Vogue, where they managed to get their revenge on them game 3. But it's again revenge from Vogue for game 4 where they managed to kick them out of Pleasant and needing to make those rotations. But it looked like that rotation for them was really way worth, coming out with a purple tag, purple pistol and a green AR and some launch pads, minis, and big pots. They walked into a good path for them, and now needing to just get into a couple blocks inwards, they should be in a good position. But you can see Punisher's Metro, which is Piv, if I'm not mistaken, taken not Piv, it's Piv actually, who's taken a couple damage on that rotation over there, and now you can see a couple plays rotating, and it's a beam from high, and not really a easy rotation for them. Actually, they are gonna get focused quite a bit. They are on the low grounds right now, and will they make it? It does look like all players are distracted, and you can see them are in zone. They're gonna hug the mountain over here, which is not a good position to be in, as an opposition team is building quite near them. They're gonna hug that mountain, and it's a weird place to be right now in the zone. You got some highs and lows in terms of the maps being around them. So and that looks like a refresh, a possible refresh that they could go and collect. That is some juicy mats that they can make their way onto, but it's again risky. Zones pushing in, anyone can be focusing there, and I'm surprised to see them not having a harpoon. Harpoon is another item that is essential to have. I don't think there's even harpoons in the season. I haven't seen one actually. Now that I've
No, just thinking about it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a harpoon in any of the players' loadouts, and that's usually one of the most items to have. I'm not entirely sure if they've been removed from this season, but let's see what happens for the players as there's 14 seconds until the storm starts shrinking, and they're going ahead of zone to stop making those fair rotations. But let's go over to the potential top 3 players. We'll go over to Brew Shark first, and then we'll end it with hopefully a spooky clutch play yet again for you guys. But right now, Brew Shark, Stary, and Warrior with a couple damage above. 33 players remaining. They place that launch pad, they fly, and just look at that rotations for a couple of people. They gotta go from high to low, and it's just not easy, especially if you don't have a launch pad. But Warrior will get knocked in the sky, and will they get the revive is the question, because nobody's really focusing them right now. And Brew Shark can make those rotations in for the team, but that was risky.
That was very risky. I mean, obviously you're giving away such a good position, right? But you kind of have to make it happen if you want to get into, be the first team to get into those zones. So yes, you're giving your position away. Unfortunately for Warrior, not going to be happy with getting knocked there. Unfortunately, going to have to waste a few consumables just with that rotation. But what it has allowed them is to be one of the first teams in that zone, to be able to box themselves up, get those tunnels running, get themselves a good little bit of a position with towers, and hopefully get them set up for the final little bit of the battles. You still got, what's that, Is that 30 or 20? I can't tell.
30.
30 players left. So I mean, you know, with everything that's going on at this poor hint in time, it would be great to just be sitting here and chapping away and getting a few knocks running through, because look at this now. Everyone has to rotate in. Everyone, unfortunately, you know, they didn't take that early risks, but with the team like this, you know, especially considering that they're in that top 4, to be sitting here just chilling, just taking teams out, getting some knocks, getting some points, it's absolutely good, but they have to be careful. It's risky as well. You can see everyone just running around just below them. I mean, the feet are on the ground. Everyone is in the same area trying to do the exact same thing and hoping to get into that next zone safe and sound. So 17 left, 16 left. Everyone now starting to really get in those shots, and the members and the numbers, they're going to be dropping like flies now. This is where it gets insane.
Yeah, and just looking at Warriors' health is my concern right now, but there's a player in the box. Will they get the Zenith? They do so. He does get that knock, and Steri is quite low on HP, but he goes into the Storm Bruce Shock to grab some mats and get a refresh right there. But the trio's total HP right now is very low. A pump to either Warrior or Steri right now could be very detrimental, and it's going to be like Bruce Shock who's probably going to clutch up for the team and maybe get a second place, but anything at this point is possible. Steri now on 4 HP white, really not looking good as Brushok drops down a level, and let's see what he can do. I think we stick on this team just to see exactly what clutch plays they can do for their team going into game 4. And they drop down. He got that SMG, does line up. Will he get the player's box? He does get pumped severely hard. Does get out of there successfully as well, but it's shot from above who's gonna put him on low HP, and he's gonna get knocked by Divs and Latte, and it's a total wipeout. A 3rd place for them, and Divs and Latte making some huge comeback here, maybe possibly grabbing game number 4 yet again. We did see them grab game number 3, and that's a huge pump and a clean, and it is a victory royale for Divs, Latte, and Popcool. Talk about back-to-back wins here. If I'm not mistaken, they did just do that.
Yeah, they took game number 3, so they had that 36 points, you know, and they really didn't have the best of starts for map number 1, map number 2, right? We were looking at 14 points map number 1, 1 point for map number 2. To come through with map 3, getting those 36 points, to come through now once again in map number 4 and getting that victory royale, they were sitting in 6th place. Honestly, so I am very curious to see what this leaderboard's going to look like.
Honestly, the points they are making is huge, and they're possibly making a comeback into a potential top 3, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see what that's going to be looking like in the leaderboard when we're back for game number 5, and we're going to be taking that short break. Guys, the games are just about to wrap up, so don't you go anywhere while we crown the champions of the Nibble Bi-Weekly Series Week 10.
Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, you were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit it if you're deep in doubt. Stop. If you wanna change, you'll work it out. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. You don't need to let them get you down. Stop. Just forget it, you can live aloud. Stop. If you wanna win, you make them proud. Stop, drop, roll, believe. If you wanna be young again, say you wanna be wild and free, 'cause it's not too late. You can celebrate your life every night and day. If you wanna be loved again, say you wanna be. Stop, drop, roll, roll. If you wanna be loved again, we were born to be young and wild and free. Young and wild and free. Stop. If you want it, you can get it now. Stop. Just admit.
Guys, we are back for the final game of the Nibble bi-weekly series, week 10. And by no surprise, the first people who have taken the first placement is absolute crazy. The lead has gone a wire. Proxy, tell me all about it.
It's a race for second place.
It is a race for second place, and we're not lying.
I'm
Guys,
sorry. I'm
we're
sorry.
genuinely not lying about that. And for game number 5, just look at the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, look, I was saying it's possible, right? I was like, you can see, you can still do something. You can still do something. But then we underestimated some of the winners in this group. I mean, BVD and Goliath, you can see game 4, they're 36 points. Whew, running away now, they're at 122. So when I say it's a race for second place, I'm not even trying to meme you guys here. Unless someone goes and they target Neymar, Woke, and Travis specifically, get them out within the first 5 seconds of the game to make sure they don't get any more points, and then continue getting a 30 and 40 point game. There is literally nothing that anyone can do to grab that first place at this point. I think it's solid. It's safe to say, unless a miracle game comes through for one of these, top 3, top 4 teams, even top 4 is like stretching it a bit, then it's set in stone. It is what it is. But Bruce Shock and them coming up, I mean, at one stage we had them in 8th place.
Yeah.
Now sitting in 2nd place. They've been super consistent since the second map. You can see they're 35, 23, 22, coming in now at 90 points. But Jamie and Thanks for Coming still in it, right? We've got about 7-point differences between those places. So definitely still in contention for that prize pool. This game is going to determine all of that. But it's for first place. I don't see anything happening there.
I'm just looking at the leaderboard now, and Dibs Popcool Latte, who grabbed game 4, haven't submitted yet. So we potentially don't know who is in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So as it stands right now, we just gotta wait for Dibs and them. I have sent out a message to them to submit their game score, but doesn't look like they have. We will have to wait for the games completely to get that over from you guys. But without wasting any more time, guys, we're gonna be jumping into the game on number 5. But yeah, it is a race for second, as Proxy said, guys. It is very close, very scary on what is going to happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think here's where you might see a few of the teams changing up, taking a different strategy. So for the teams that it's literally not possible for them to grab it, they might be looking to just, be a little bit of a troll, maybe be a little bit of the detriment to a lot of the other teams. Who knows? Maybe they might not even take on the Goliaths, that is BVD and Goliath, Neymar, Work, and Travis, and get them, give them a little bit of a chance to feel a little bit of the damage that they've been dealing. Or it might just be everyone trying to take that victory royale out of the hands of the rest of the teams that are still in contention for the prize pool. So it's difficult to say where everyone's going to be, changing it up and maybe bringing in some new action. But I definitely still think that you guys have to be active here. Everyone has to be active, looking for that damage, looking for those eliminations. Placement points just aren't going to cut it anymore.
No, it isn't. And just looking at the number of players that, come into game number 5, like, this is Battle Royale, this is Fortnite South African scene as well. We do have a lot of people that forfeit very, very soon. And we went from 90 players in game 4 to 71 in game 5. And there's some players already dropping dead. We are 70, 69 very soon. So, like right now, it isn't going to matter whether you play placement, because the players who are getting the eliminations are the players who are going to race for second. Because let's be honest, nobody's catching first place regardless of how much bombs you drop, because has you getting eliminations, and BVD x Goliath is just going to be getting placement points. So they're already sitting with a 32-point lead game, if I'm not mistaken. So they are comfortable. And according to the players, like overall standings or average standings, they are getting about 20-point game each lobby. So we're not going to see a 32-point or even a 46-point game coming in game number 5, unless you're an absolute madman and you somehow drop a 17 plus kill game and win the game. So it's not just, I just don't see it happening though. it is a race for the players right now in game number 5, as we are at 62 players remaining.
Yeah, difficult situation all around. And as we said it, for a lot of these other teams, I can understand why they just yeet on out of here, because it's impossible for anyone looking down past that top 5 to sort of grab the prize pool. You can definitely set yourself up better on the leaderboard. Get yourself your placements up, even make it difficult for everyone else who's going for that prize pool. If you wanna be like that, it's fine. I understand it. Some competitive spirit is always welcomed, but it's difficult. And for a lot of these teams, I think the way that they saw this going wasn't necessarily how it ended up being. I mean, our winners from the previous weeks didn't come out this week with the best of luck. I mean, we obviously saw them going down in the previous map. They're not in the best positions. Everyone's sort of just focusing around them. We had third parties going crazy towards the end there. Rotations were really, really insane. But, I'm happy to see that everyone has just kicked up their game. I think it's still been a very competitive series so far. Everyone has been looking really, really good.
Definitely. It's been one of the closest calls as well for second place. We've just never had such a close call. And in fact, from game 1 to 4, that first place was still in
Contention, yeah.
in attention, but they just said to the moon. Literally just said to the moon, and got so much points to grab that. And it's crazy stuff. But on the other hand, guys, the top 5 as it stands right now, and I'm gonna put Divs Latte in them in the top 5, because a win with a couple elims, they probably got a 30-point game there, so they're also sitting on 80 points plus. So it's literally 2nd to 6th that is in a race for second place right now. It would be crazy to see Popcool Latte and them grab game number 5 yet again, and that would probably be the best comebacks in the Nibble bi-weekly series, because if you look at the leaderboard, their game 1 was terrible. I mean, 14 points, even game 2, 1 point.
Yeah.
So
No, it wasn't great.
yeah, they've had a tough start to the tournament, but they came to the party and they're showing why they're competitors in the Fortnite ZA community, and why they deserve to be in the top placements that they can possibly. And here on board here, Lazy Lake, Noted, Spooky, and Card, they're also chilling in a good position for, second place. And again, possibly getting that second curse placement that I've been mentioning throughout the entire stream, is that these guys are really good contestants for second place. So it is very sad to see that they haven't grabbed a champion just yet in the Nibble bi-weekly series, but they've been close there. I mean, at a single series, I think it was week 6 or week 4, if I'm not mistaken, one of the weeks, they were first for like 3 games, and then towards the end, it had to be Neymar, Travis, and Woke to push them out of that position and come second place. But it's very close right now. It's still anyone's second. And going over to Blue Shark, Steady, and Warrior, let's see what they are up to and what they are doing. You can see Lazy Lake was very much uncontested, so no kill points for the top 2 to 5. No kill points yet.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, Blue Shark and them, they're sitting with 90 points, of course, 32 away from that top spot.
Oh wait, they got 2 kills here for Blue Shark.
Yeah. Okay, so cool. So they've already got 2 points on lockdown. I mean, we're at 53 players, so a few more, and then we're looking at placement points for everyone on the map. So that's sort of the advantage of starting with less players, is you have less anxiety trying to get into that placement point game. So looking at it now, I mean, they're definitely the favorites in terms of that race for second place. Obviously, they're in the lead currently. Whether or not that might change, obviously, as the scores get updated and we see that fulfilled leaderboard. We'll wait and see for that one. But they've been really good, sort of just resetting themselves and coming back strong. I mean, the first game they ran away with 10 points, right? Second coming through with that 35, third coming through with that 23, and then 22. So they've been really consistent and really good at getting those high point games.
Yeah,
Whether or not
definitely.
that's going to mean that they're going to get that second prize, or if they're going to fall off here, is a big question for me, because Jamie as well, and thanks for coming. And as you said, pretty much everyone from 2 to 6, including of course our winners from the previous game, which was Does Popcool and Latte. They're definitely still in contention for this. It's so close. Like
It
it's
is.
actually ridiculous how close it is. One good game and bam, second place just like that.
Literally. And let's go over to Swizzy Vibes and Dabs, plays that we didn't really get to see. Oh, and just like I mentioned, that they get eliminated off the bat over there as well.
How's
So,
this, guys? You did it again.
oh,
You did it again.
so yeah, Swissy and them just not having the best of games. But on the other hand, we now on Race, Chili, and Spice. So they've been in a position where they got W keyed by Lightseeker, and he's on one tap, and he will get knocked. That's the disadvantage of taking those launch pads, is you will get focused while rotating, and now the players are flying onto them, and it's a pump from Spice, but it's not going to be enough because it's Light Seeker yet again.
Shoo. Shoo. I mean, Lightseeker and them, they definitely
I've
wanted
won
to get as many
Mitsuda,
points as they
Makira.
can, surely, because as we talk about it, they're sitting in that fifth spot. They've got 75 points. They have to get to at least 90 to make themselves definitely compatible for that second place, and then they have to keep going because they have no idea how many points Brushock and them are going for or will be getting in this game. So it's crazy that we're seeing these sort of aggression and aggressive plays in this fifth map, but it makes sense to me. You want to get as many points as you can. You want to be taking out as many of your opponents as you can. Of course, they are in that place where they don't really need to worry about getting 0 placement points, but they need to at least be getting themselves a 20 to 30 point game if they
Yeah.
want to get close to that second place. And getting the meds, please pop off your med. My goodness gracious, it's giving me anxiety. Oh, it's giving me so much anxiety. Okay, it's fine. He's okay. He's gonna be getting into the zone. As a solo here, it's tough. It's tough.
is.
Now just Chili left.
I mean, let's see what happens with him. He's going to need to rotate as a solo, and CK and them are probably out and about in the zone, safe though, like in the safe zone. He's into a car. He's going to travel, hopefully travel. Yeah, and now he's got a Firefly. I don't think he knows that. Will he get a better pump? Is the question. Ah, and he's just unable. Wait, no, he didn't get any reboot card. He
No, it was
just
too late.
missed
There was
it.
like 3 seconds left when he got into the truck. So I was like, I thought he gave up on it, but then when he actually went for it, I was like, oh no, oh
He
no.
was grabbing it in that moment, but it just evaporated in his face. That is just GG's and sadness all round. He's gonna have to work 3 times harder because he is a solo and it is a trio tournament. And on the other hand, you got Deervold, who has lost himself. He's been eliminated, and now you got his teammates George and Piv in this position. So not good, and they don't have the reboot card as well, so they are solo. They are duo going into the end games here, and 33 players remaining. Proxy, I mean, just how much W King more can the players who are alive give effect to the lobby right now? And talking about W King, we see Stereo with an elimination in the kill feed. Let's go and see what Brushock, Warrior, and Stereo are up to right now, and they tag and scan the plays right now, so they know exactly where to get into. And it's a pump play of 57. He edits his cone, gets a 34. It's Nikki who will get eliminated, and that was just class.
Oh, this is great for them. As you said, I mean, they're already in second place, so at this point in time, they just want to get as many points as they can. They really need to be grinding that points game here to just make sure that they secure themselves that spot, because obviously the contention for that second place, all of the teams that are in that position to do so, they're pretty much still alive and kicking, really. They're all still in this. They're all still getting eliminations and points of their own, so it's scary to think that you're kind of just flying blind here, as you don't know where you're sitting at as you continue into this. You can only find out towards the end when that leaderboard comes through if you've done enough or if you fell short maybe. So yeah, the W keys that are going to be coming through, I expect to be crazy. You know, we've got 30 players left. I know that every single one of them are hungry and wanting those kills. So it doesn't just help with points, it helps get your loot up, you know, it helps get you your mats, it helps get you all the equipment that you need. We only really saw one of those chug cannons coming through. So in terms of equipment, everyone has been running low on consumables. Everyone has been, you know, running from pot to pot, and we could see that towards the end there. Really not. They really don't have to worry about storm surges this time around, surely, but it definitely is a scary thing to think that you might be running out of consumables in that fight. We've seen so many times with teams that didn't have enough mats there towards the end ended up just falling, literally falling off of the towers and not being able to save themselves whatsoever. So, getting your loot up, getting your points up, and just doing damage. I think it's good. You know, you sort of get that hype feeling that yeah, we got this. We're getting the kills. We're getting the W. We're looking to take the victory royale. And yeah, so far everyone's been some pretty active. Some llama action as well. Like
They
to see it.
managed to box it up, and it is a 49 headshot, and ooh, they eliminate the llama. But yeah, sitting on so much eliminations right now, kill points for them. I think it's 5 in total. They didn't manage to find the final third over there. But this is really good for the team. They're going to be at this stage, at this time. We don't know what the other contestants are like, what their positions are. But this is really good for a second place position if they manage to continue doing extremely well. But let's go over to Noted Card and Spooky Boss, the other team that is in third right now and in a potential second place. And it does look like they're eliminated. No! And they got eliminated by... I'm not entirely sure who they're going up against. But this is GG's, yeah. GG's. So Spooky Card and Noted eliminated off the bat over there.
Oh, so that means, you know, your fourth place team is just out.
Yeah.
Not in contention this time around. Unfortunately for them, they're gonna have to sit and wait in the lobby. And for everyone else, I mean, that's just opportunity for them. Devilton, them still somehow in this with one player left, just trying to desperately tunnel themselves out of the situation. But they're taking damage left, right, and center, down to 10 armor. Make that no armor whatsoever. Those final shots come through, the damage being dealt. And unfortunately, the edits have to be so much quicker because just around the corner, there's more players looking for them at this point in time. Oh, gotta be careful here. If you make one mistake, that's it for your entire team. And that's just the pressure that you take as a solo. That damage dealt, and there it is!
That is some
Oh!
third-party shots coming in there, and that is going to be a free elimination for them as he, you know, he thought he was safe, and the third-party shots just said, hello, I'm here. And that's going to be GG's for them. We're running low on POVs, and I think the only one we have left right now is Bruce Shark, and his POV has Rejects, Reepsy, and Crispy are eliminated off the bat as well. And I mean, you are looking at your second contenders. I highly believe. I don't know what is happening with Divs, Latte, and Popcool, but it's still close.
Yeah.
I think they do get second place though, and that's going to be them as a trio for not longer than 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Grabbing second in a major tournament like this is massive, and a huge snipe, 110 to the body, and
Ouch.
they're gonna be hungry for that elimination right now. I think it is a solo player, and they're gonna start making that rotation into getting that W key in. He's lining up another snipe shot. He takes the shot but misses by a hair thread, and he just won't be able to get that one there. But this solo player, on the other hand, he's in a bit of trouble. Has Bruce Shark, Sterry, and Warrior are hunting.
Ooh, yeah, no, they'd definitely be doing themselves a favor if they can get this elimination going through. And I mean, they're so close to it. Surely this is an elim for them that they can take away as they get themselves into the zone as well. I mean, it's along the way, you know, it's like shopping. You're just grabbing a elim on the way to the zone. It's good. It's good. We like the bonuses that we're running with. And yeah, I do think Latte and them, they did find themselves in that second place. Wherever their points were, I can't think that it was that much far off from Bruce Shark and them. Surely they're very close. That rotation coming through, and whoever that is, they're not going to be happy that they came back, because they should have stayed wherever they were at. They should not have joined this party. It's not one that's going to be going in their favor.
It isn't beautiful aim coming in from Bruchak. But they're sitting ducks, unfortunately unable to grab that one Elam, and there's now like players just flying around trying to get the remaining players right now. It is a race for second, so we don't know exactly who's alive. We did see CK Bojo noted managing to wipe out Race and his team, but it was just that solo player who's left alone to sort of clutch up for the team. But CK and them also really contestants for the second places, and I forgot about them completely. But yeah, second is still pretty much in the race. It's still open for anyone, but as it stands right now, Bruchak, Warrior, and Steri probably have the most kills for second place right now. And there's 8 teams and 21 players remaining right now, so you are looking at a potential end game with a lot of good players. So yes, there's 20 players remaining, but the 20 players could be your Bravado X Goliath. It could be CK Bojo, Noted, Noted, and them got eliminated. Zakis as well. Like, the players remaining right now will give you a fight if you double keep.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult decision, but at the same time, when everyone is so desperate for points, you can't really be saying no to these fights. You can't really be running too much away from them. Of course, getting that placement, getting that victory royale is the first prize that everyone wants to get at this point in time, but getting those extra kills, especially when you've got the likes of Bruchak and them already leading with 5, looking for so much more as the shots come through, but the damage isn't going their way. You need to be careful because there's people around the corner looking to take you out. And that's exactly what's happening here. So Bruchak going out, it's Steries and Warrior that now have to carry on the wishes and the dreams of Bruchak here. And we're running low on POVs, and well, now we have very little left because everyone that was spectating is just dropping like flies. I mean, we've got 19 players left. 19 left for the final map of today.
19 of the final map, and this is the 4th zone. We saw some storm surges in game 1 in this situation, but it's not the case. Even though we started with 71 players, it is no passive plays that are coming into action. Everyone is W-keyed, and Chili, the solo player in Race's team, manages to get a knockdown, and that is actually crazy as a solo. But a lot of gunfire going back and forth, and now you can see Chili in the kill feed finally being eliminated, and he's probably excited to get some action on board, and you can see that a final clean out coming in for them. So much chance here to beam a play. It does tag for 33, but it's not going to be enough to get any serious damage right now, and they're just going to be focusing so much loot and players in a tough position as they get server focused right now. Just a spray of bullets coming in from Warrior and Stereo, and that's the headshot dink going in favor for Stereo. 49 damage to the oppositions. Warrior saying, let's go into this position. Will they manage to get some loot is the question. And I think that was the main goal, is to get some loot and get out of that position. But Warrior still in here. And now you can see Stereo joining Warrior, and it looks like it's going to be a sort of a W key right now.
Yeah, surely. I mean, that storm's going to be moving soon. They've got some loots. Well, they've got all the loot to their heart's content at this point in time. There's still 13 people on the map. There's 11 other players that are in their way at this point in time if they would be grabbing that second place. And of course, that means you have to be so careful. You have to be absolutely so careful, because as we can see what happened to Bruchak there, they were just trying to get up, trying to get those heals up, get the tower sorted, and in a matter of seconds, they were taken out. So here, as a duo, having to run away, 11 now is the number we're looking at. So 9 other players that they need to be focusing on, doing some good damage there, breaking some shields and doing some chip damage to just make sure that those consumables are drying up as soon as possible. It looks like they will be one of the first teams in this the safe zone in the storm. You can see everyone just trying to float in, trying to just rotate as soon as possible, but they have to be careful. Again, there's so much contention just around the corner. You can see here the damage being dull, damage to the walls, but they're not going to be finding that connection just yet. and now the Storm Eye is shrinking, and they're actually going to be taking the jump pad through. This is a little bit risky because they're giving up their cover, but they might be finding themselves such a good position to work with here. Of course, they're not unnoticed. Everyone has seen that one coming through, and it's 10 players alive in this moment in time. It's, of course, the 2 that were spectating and 8 others that are just looking to take this final victory royale for the day, and hopefully, for the teams that we're looking at to try and rotate up into the leaderboard to try and shake things up for that second place, it could be one of them.
A lot of placement points coming in for the team Brushok and Steady, as well as Warrior. And the duo doing exceptionally well. 7 players now remaining. They haven't been in any tough position where they need to then question what to do. But it's a pump shot, and he does manage to miss it though. And it's a player from behind who hits Warrior extremely hard. Warrior trying to take some chug splashes, but it's not going to be enough as he will get eliminated. And now on 130 HP is Terry, and he's getting focused. He's eliminated. And just like that, it's a 3v3 situation with some shots over there. And let's see what goes into action. Brushok, stop minimizing application.
No, stop it. We need to see the action going on here.
And
The final 2 teams fighting it out for the last map of the bi-weekly series in week 10. It's anyone's game at this point in time. The high ground's in their favor. The shots are coming through, damage being dealt, and that Storm Eye is shrinking. Every second that this fight goes on is every second everyone on this map is in danger. I mean, at this point in time, just trying to find the angle is tough enough, but the damage that's being dealt is going both ways.
And it does look like it's going to be a 1v1 situation. It's a 1v2. This is not looking good. It gets shot down. And it's a huge pump from the opposition team. Will he manage to grab some minis? Is the question. He does take that. And it's a Brushok minimize again. But, oh, no. And he gets kicked out from that game. And we're just not going to be able to see that gameplay. But talk about close in those matters of seconds with Brushok and his team. Just unfortunately to see them get dropped like that. No time to react at all, and they get eliminated. But that has been the 5 games. What do you have to say to the audience here?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me. It's been a fun time to witness some Fortnite, and I think today was no exception. I think everyone really played fantastically. There was some great competition, which is what you always want to see. You don't want to see a one-sided, series, and it really was until that last map. I mean, first place was definitely still up for grabs for anyone, really.
Yeah.
You were looking at top 8 that had an opportunity to grab that first place. Then, of course, that game 4 came through, and then it was not really a case, but even still, second place was very much under contention, and anyone could have grabbed it, and I'm happy to see that, we saw some competition there still right towards the end.
Definitely, and let's look at what the games are. First, let me actually get a confirmation that all teams have submitted, and then these are guys pre-scores not confirmed, and it does look like all scores have been submitted. And it's a twist of tail. And while we get into that, guys, let us show you guys the leaderboard and the champion for the week 10. Guys, let's get a round of applause for Bravado X Goliath with 146 points. That is a massive 26 lead to second. Second being Jamie. Jamie somehow grabbing the win from the bottom of the top 6. I've assumed he was 4th or something. This.
Round about there. Yeah, that's.
He just wins by a point lead into second. A point lead from 120 to Light Gaming Punishers, and an FA being third, which is CK, Zakis, and Bojo. Wait, everyone has submitted, so this is your preliminary scores over here, guys, and 119 for Light X Punishers XFA. Very close, and look at that points they got.
Yeah, no, they came to the party.
They definitely did. Almost trying to pull out a rabbit out of the hat like they did in week number 9, which was yesterday. They did the exact same thing where they were 5th and they doubly keyed the entire lobby and came 2nd. But this time around, 1 point difference. And in 4th is Brushok, Warrior, and Sterry. Just not enough surprisingly not enough going into game number 5. I had thought they had secured that second place successfully, but unfortunately will not be doing that. And we can see that mega game 3 and 4 for main dogs, and ending up on 107 points and a 5th place. That is going to be GG's, and you can see noted Cod and Spooky not having the best game 4 and 5, now pushing out all the way to top 6. GG's.
That's unlucky. But I mean, for everyone else that came through, I definitely want to say a big GG to Latsike and Zakis. I mean, they got 44 points. They were 1 point away from potentially grabbing it all, and they just fell short. But really, BBD and Goliath, I mean, shoo, way to go and show the rest of the lobby there. Neymar, Work, and Travis running away with that 146 points. That's nothing to scoff at, and it started with that first map of 42 points. They really threw down the gauntlet and just kept going at it, and
Honestly.
it's been such a good performance from them today.
Well, talking about great performance, you were spectacular, and thank you so much for joining me as a co-caster on the Nibble Bi-Weekly Series Week 10. Hopefully we get to experience something like this again in the future, but it was amazing to have you co-cast alongside with me.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun. It's been really fun. I didn't think I'd be casting Fortnite anytime soon, and this is such an awesome way to get introduced to it. So
awesome.
It was keen. It was good.
Definitely keen. Guys, we'll be signing off over here, and we just want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you guys that showed to the party, left a like, that engaged on the stream. You guys made it an absolute fun one, and we definitely enjoyed casting this one to you guys. We'll be seeing you guys in the week 11 on the 2nd week of July, guys. So don't forget about that one, where you can register on Wednesday and Friday to qualify into the finals of the week 11 finals. And we'll be seeing you guys then. Take care and peace out. Pew.
I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, it's more than I dare to